Hey guys, Ben here on the show, and the boys are in Long Island. We're trying to dial them up.
Ben!
There you are. There's Hope. Hey guys.
What's up?
What's up? You're up.
Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
Jeez.
Hold on.
Battle stations.
Okay, I think we got it figured out finally. Yeah, it's Opie and Anthony.
Hey.
And I guess we don't have to tell anyone, but we might as well, that this is going to be a very different show today.
Yeah.
First of all, Anthony and I are not even in New York City. We're on the outskirts of New York City.
We're out on Long Island.
We're out on Long Island. Want to thank the fine folks of WLIR on Long Island. Got to give them a plug today because we're broadcasting from their studios.
Yeah.
This is just, we don't even know where to begin. This is just unbelievable. At 9:15 this morning, I was getting ready to go on a train to come into work to do our show today.
From Midtown Manhattan.
And they completely shut down Manhattan, where no one is allowed into the city, which is just unbelievable in itself.
A lot of people.
Anthony, who lives in Brooklyn, could not go into the city.
No, they shut down everything coming in. There was no way you were going to get in.
So here we are on Long Island to attempt to do a radio show today.
I don't know why. I was like, and I'm never getting home, by the way. I just want to let everybody know.
Well, you can crash at my place.
Because as I was driving in, I'm on the Belt Parkway, driving away from Manhattan, clear as a bell. I could do 90 because I knew there wasn't going to be a cop with a radar gun. So I got here really quick. But on the other side of the road, heading toward the city, and heading toward where I live, just a mess.
Yeah, they completely shut down the Long Island Expressway.
Yeah.
Which, for people in other cities, just imagine your biggest road in your city just completely shut down.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're trying to set up communications. We're going to set up the website so we can read some instant feedback from all over the country. We're going to take a ton of phone calls today, right, Ant?
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows what happened. I don't even know that we got to run through it 8 billion times again. Now it's all about revenge.
Right.
Whose ass do we kick?
Right.
About this? Because I can't just sit by and think of all the other times that things have happened, and the president has the rah-rah speech, and before you know it, weeks turn into months, and you realize nothing happens, and any general pissed-off attitude you have just goes away, and you forget about it until the next time, and you get the same crap every time. This time, we need something huge, a response quick and so decisive and brutal to whoever did this, that they have to think twice about doing it again. Or they just plain don't exist anymore. Or they don't have the resources to do anything except skin animals for clothing in the caves that they live in. That is what we should do this time, because this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You watch it, and like everyone's been saying, it's like just watching a movie. But it's real.
Yeah. First of all, how did you hear about it? I mean, what were you doing?
Me sleeping. What else do
you were
I
sleeping,
do at that hour?
I was up. I was having breakfast with my girlfriend in Northport, and I was listening to the morning show in New York on WNEW, the Sports Guys, and they're like,
"You're the guy that listens to that program."
So they're on the air going, all morning we're talking nothing but Giants football.
Oh.
And then I'm like, all right, I'll check them out for a little while. And then I go in and have my little breakfast, and I come out, and all of a sudden they're talking about a plane hitting the Twin Towers. You and I have talked about this on our radio show. We said on numerous occasions we're surprised that
someone hasn't done it.
Yeah, that no one has ever done that before. I'm not even talking about a terrorist attack. Just a nutcase in the area that wants to just end his life and do it in style by crashing into one of these buildings. We talked about that recently on our show. So I'm just assuming it's a Cessna or something, and it happened. A guy, he decided to end his life, right?
Right.
And so I'm listening to the Sports Guys describe this thing, and they're talking to someone on the phone, and everyone's watching TV at this point. And I heard them live say, holy, I think they even cursed because it was just beyond belief.
Yeah.
Holy ass, a huge jet just crashed into the other tower.
Yeah.
Now, the first thought, and I'm not trying to make jokes today, I'm like, man, those guys need, ratings that bad that they're going to go down this road and come up with some wacky radio
Right,
prank.
you're thinking it's a joke.
I thought it was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then sure enough, I'm just, I start spinning around the dials to make sure it wasn't, and I couldn't believe it. This is like our worst fear here in New York. If you work or live in the city, it's always in the back of your mind a terrorist attack or, some kind of explosion. And sure enough, today we're dealing with this, and it's just amazing because we all know someone that works in the Twin Towers, and our thoughts go out to them and their families because
it's bad. I don't know. You have that hope that you sit and you watch and go, hey, maybe after the first plane hit, a lot of people got out, and maybe this, maybe that. It just looks bad. It's too big to not have killed a lot of people.
Yeah, because
it's awful.
What were they saying? Like 50,000 people work in the towers?
They work in there on any given day. It's a lot of people.
And after the first plane hit, if the elevators weren't, even if the elevators were working, just a panic on every floor, people trying to get onto the elevators to get out of the building. So then you got to think, all right, people are going down in the stairwells. There's no way they all got out. Well, obviously not all got out, but not a lot of people got out in time.
What was it? 18 minutes between the two planes hitting?
Yeah.
So you got to figure, how people move. They're pains in the asses when you're trying to get through people. And even in a panic situation like that, it would be worse. So 18 minutes to evacuate 50,000 people in a building? Please.
Right.
It just doesn't happen, unfortunately, because it looks like it's going to be really bad.
And then I'm watching the TV, and they're talking to a reporter in the area, and all of a sudden I'm watching, I'm like, is the whole building coming down in front of my eyes?
Yeah.
And then the reporter had no clue because she doesn't have a monitor, and they jumped in like, wow.
I know. Who expected that? Well, I woke up, Rick called me up and said, oh, you better leave early to get in to Manhattan because there's trouble there downtown. Little understatement of the century.
Right.
And I was thinking of coming in, and I turn on the TV.
Yeah.
And there it is.
You drive right by
Towers.
that building every day.
Every day, I drive right down the West Side Highway coming into work because I'm in Brooklyn. And, drive right past the front of it. I look at it every day because it's amazing to look at, or it was anyway. Mm-hmm. Huge. And I drive past it every day, yeah. And I can only imagine the damage to the surrounding area, just having that much stuff come down on top of everything. But then I looked out my porch window, and there it was, Manhattan, South Manhattan on fire.
South of like Canal, basically,
just big plumes of smoke coming up. Later on, I saw some military vessel going up the river when I was coming here down the Parkway. But roads closed, people just walking around and looking dazed. It's like something you don't want to believe, like a movie, like a bad movie. You're watching it, and I'm watching the side of a building come out when a plane hits it, and you go, that's good CGI. Wow,
yeah.
That looks pretty real.
Yeah, it's so surreal. I think we're all going to wake up tomorrow and go, did that really happen?
Yeah, I'm watching people running down the street, and there was a couple of women just cowering behind a car, and I'm looking at them going, you got to give it more believability here. It's bbad acting. Looks like bad acting.
The pictures are just unbelievable. We're flipping around like crazy, and we just saw some footage of, I guess it was a cop. Basically just pushed a lady out of the way to outrun the wall of smoke coming his way.
Yeah, when those buildings came down, the plumes of smoke that came through the streets, like the streets act like a canyon, so it just blows down the roads in Manhattan. And some people had their backs turned. Now, they heard the boom, and they start trying to get out of the way, but the cloud of smoke just engulfed them. And the people running away that saw the cloud coming weren't stopping to help the people that didn't. I saw an old lady in blue, and she's kind of walking down the street, and a big cloud of smoke's coming after her, and this big fat guy just kind of pushes her out of the way. Yeah. It's horrible, but you kind of see what we're all about sometimes. There's the heroics, and then there's the people going, hey, get out of my way. I'm saving my own ass.
Right. What about the guy that was behind the ambulance?
Yeah.
And he couldn't see the wall of smoke coming while everyone's just running by him, and he was completely engulfed.
Just, sucked them right up. Awful. But it's all about the next phase of this thing, which is retaliation. Because you could rehash this. It's over. I don't foresee anything else happen. It's kind of eerie when you look up in the sky and don't see any airplanes.
Right.
I drove right past Kennedy Airport to get here. And nothing, and you're used to you take it for granted that there's going to be planes in the sky. And nothing. No planes. And now I think the next big story is going to be when we finally attack whoever's responsible for this. I don't even care if they're totally responsible. If you backed terrorism, if you're a country known to harbor terrorists, that's it. Start putting some of that those tax dollars I spent on some of this military hardware to work. Because we just have to answer hard. Bad.
By the way, CNN just reported a little while ago, and we're trying not to make jokes today, trust me. Disney World and Disneyland is closed.
Oh, thank God.
CNN reporting that. Very important that they report that today.
There's bandwagon jumpers that close things, I think, yeah.
So if you're just tuning in, it is the Opie and Anthony show, and we're not in Manhattan. You can't get to Manhattan. You could barely get out of Manhattan. Did you see the footage of everyone just walking across the Brooklyn Bridge? Thousands upon thousands of people like it was the New York City Marathon?
Yeah.
Amazing.
They're walking up the FDR Drive, which is just a huge road in Manhattan. And, no cars. They're just walking home. The mayor just got on and said, look, walk home.
Walk home today.
And these are people that commute in every day.
So here we are in the studios of WLIR on Long Island, and we don't have anything.
No, we're just here. I guess we're going to try to take a few phone calls and whatnot.
Yeah, we finally hooked up the website. I think we could get instant feedback in a few minutes here. We got to get the web address for that. We should talk to Ben and Rick. Ben's back at the station. Ben.
Yes, right here.
What's going on, bro?
Not a heck of a lot. It's just pandemonium here.
And when did you come in from Boston?
I drove in from Boston last night.
Oh, you drove?
I drove, yeah. I got back in New York about 9 o'clock last night.
Because I was wondering about that. I'm like, Ben's in Boston.
Well, when the days go by, we're all going to know at least one person that perished. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, because the scope of this is huge. Just huge.
They showed on CNN the track of, was that the first plane that hit the tower? I think it was the first plane, right?
Yeah, it was leaving Boston, heading towards Los Angeles, and it goes on its normal track, because there's a bunch of websites where you can track the flights of aircraft. And you see it going on its normal track west, and then all of a sudden it just makes a sharp turn south.
Somewhere in Pennsylvania, just as sharp as could be, turn south.
It was over New York, yeah, upstate New York.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It turned south, and that you can assume is where these scum of the earth took the plane over. And, you start thinking all kinds of thoughts, like, these are human beings on these planes, and what the hell was going through their heads? Did they know what was going on? Was there a big commotion? Were the pilots even alive?
Well, they had a guy on a cell phone. This is all facts, by the way. We're going to try not to, hang out in the rumor zone today.
Yeah.
CNN said it was a fact that someone on that hijacked plane from Boston to L.A. that made the sharp turn somewhere in upstate New York, south. He was in the bathroom of the plane on a cellular phone, screaming, going, we've been hijacked. They stayed on the line with the guy until they heard a big crash, or a big explosion, I guess they said, and that was it. Boom.
I think that was the plane that went down in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania, okay.
Which people are assuming it was shot down. Because by that point, the Pentagon had been hit, and both of the towers of the World Trade Center. So I had heard reports that F-16 fighters were surrounding a plane, and you got to assume there, too, what's going through their heads? If they have to take the shot on a plane that has passengers on it, but you got to do it because it's...
you don't know if that plane's going to hit the Empire State Building or something, right?
What's the next target? These terrorists, this scum, managed to use our own planes as bombs.
Amazing.
So you sit there and think about all the debate that's gone on about these missile defense systems and whatnot. That, hey, they knocked the nuclear missiles out of the sky. This is great. We're safe. These guys used our own planes, which opens up a whole nother can of worms about the lameness of airport security. You like to feel great when they ask you that question. Did you pack your own bags? Did you leave your bags with anyone you don't know? What's the guy going to say? Oh, you got me. Okay, I did. Yeah, I'm a terrorist.
Yeah, because these hijackers had to get weapons on the plane. You're not gonna hijack a plane with a butter knife,
right? You know, you have to assume that there was some kind of weapon there to intimidate the pilot into giving up his seat. They don't normally do that. And you could also assume that the pilots didn't fly these planes into these buildings, that they were incapacitated, and the terrorists flew these things into these buildings. So it opens up a whole can of worms with airport security and what the future's going to hold now for people that want to travel. I mean, it's really going to get tight. But, looking in the past, it'll get like that for a while. Uh-oh. What are they showing on now?
This is new footage on CNN.
CNN, a side view of the airplane? Is that what I'm saying?
It's just unbelievable to imagine that, tomorrow when we wake up and you see the skyline of New York, and we've all seen it a million times, you're not going to see the Twin Towers there. That's just...
Yeah, the Twin Towers are just, it's a landmark. They picked 2 landmarks that are just huge. One known for the military, the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you think Pentagon, you think the military. And a civilian target, it's New York City. It's the World Trade Center. This is, thousands of 50,000 people, up to 50,000 people work there. And that's a huge image of this New York City skyline. And they picked 2, and they nailed us. And watching reports on CNN and whatnot of some of these people in these Mideast countries celebrating.
In Palestine, right?
Yeah, in Afghanistan.
They were handing out candy in the streets.
And they're handing out candy. They're celebrating. They're waving flags. They're smiling and laughing at total destruction.
Obviously, this is an act of war. Worse than Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
This is worse than Pearl Harbor.
We had a couple of thousand people die in the Pearl Harbor attack. And that was, military targets. And it was during a very unstable time. But this is civilian targets and no provocation. Because of our policy with Israel, go screw. I cannot wait. I beg the president of this country to just wreak havoc on every country that's ever sponsored terrorism, that ever harbored a terrorist, to just not hold back. I'm in favor of some tactical nuclear warfare there, Opie. I don't care. Drop the bomb. Just clear them out so they can't even do this anymore. That's it. Done.
Right.
It's over on the other side of the world. I don't care.
Let's get back to
That's
Ben.
what they're saying.
Hey, Ben.
Yo.
So, your new place is right around there too, right?
I'm relatively close. I'm probably about 20 blocks away or so.
Yeah.
Mark's the one that actually saw it and called into the sports guys.
Now, yeah, Mark, Psycho Mark on our radio show. I mean, I had no doubt this was serious, but I knew it was really, really serious when I tuned in Fox News. And there's Mark. Got to call him Mark today. Mark Walsh. As serious as I've ever seen anyone in my life be. And I'm like, that's Mark?
Yeah, I know.
And he's like an eyewitness to this whole thing. Because what? His building is pretty much right there?
He's really close. I mean, the great thing about Mark's apartment was you could look out and the World Trade Center is right there. It was the most amazing view. And he woke up this morning and in his room, you look out and he saw this thing happening and called in. And, knowing him, they thought he was joking around. And
Wait, take us back. So was he getting ready for work or what?
He was getting ready to go to work.
And he actually saw the first plane hit?
I guess he heard the crash and looked out and saw this whole thing unravel right in front of him.
Right.
Because like I said, he lives within a few blocks of where the Trade Center is.
And he's just got a great view of the Trade Center, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. And so he calls up the sports guys in New York.
He calls up the sports guys, and at this point, it hadn't broken on the news. I mean, this is right when it happened. And Chris Oliveira, one of their producers, is like, Mark, come on, this, it's not a funny joke. They thought he was joking around.
Him, yeah.
And sure enough, it wasn't. And that was Mark calling in.
Did he see the second plane, the 767?
I think Mark saw all of it.
Wow.
And we talked to his boss at Fox, and he's down there. You can't get in contact with him because of his cell phone down there, but he's been down there, as you said, like reporting for Fox all day because you can only get so many people down there.
Right.
So that's what happened with him.
Yeah, being from New York and living here, and like I said, I'm from Brooklyn, and I got a view from where I live of Southern Manhattan. And when I was driving in here, and I'm driving up the Belt, to look over at the familiar skyline of Manhattan, the Empire State Building, and the Twin Towers, and to just see smoke coming up from where the Twin Towers used to be, is you can't even. It's not like it's like it's not real.
No,
what it is.
No, and being from Long Island, I'll give you another view. I mean, I'm way out on the island, okay? I'm a good 30 miles from Manhattan.
Yeah.
I got on the LIE shortly because they, it was mostly closed, and you could see the smoke 30 miles away where I was. Just a huge cloud.
It's like one of those bad movies. And the roads being closed, that's another amazing thing, with no one being allowed to go west off of Long Island, or to go south if you're in Westchester. They've closed these roads, and you see they've used everything, because a lot of the police vehicles are being used in New York. So there's huge garbage trucks and dump trucks and flares blocking the parkways and highways going towards Manhattan. And there's like a scene out of Stephen King's The Stand or something. You look and it doesn't seem real until it sinks in.
It's really not sinking in yet at all. It's just beyond amazing. Ben, are the phones ringing like crazy or what?
Yeah, we got some calls coming in. We have Keith the Cop is on the line. I don't know if you guys want to talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
You want to go to him?
Yeah, was he down there?
Yeah, he's there. You want to go to him?
Oh, definitely.
All right, here we go. Keith. He's been on the hold for a little while, so maybe he'll call.
Has he?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know that Keith wasn't actually working. He was called in, and he said, he got in, the LIE was totally wide open. He got in, but he's down there in the thick of things.
We have a lot of friends in the NYPD and a lot of friends in the fire department, so.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys are going through some tough times right now, too, because, they were right on the scene. There were a lot of emergency workers at the base of those buildings when that happened, so hopefully
plus the hotel.
Miracle happened.
No one has mentioned the hotel that...
the Marriott's.
One of the towers basically collapsed right on top of.
I know. And another plane's down in Philadelphia, or in Pennsylvania.
That's the one in the outskirts of Pittsburgh, actually.
Plane was a 747, Flight 93 from Newark. And that went down in the woods. Now that, I heard the earlier reports that a 747 was surrounded by F-16s, because it was headed toward Washington. So I wonder what the story is with that. We were listening to or watching CNN, and I think a lot of info is going to come from the black boxes and the recordings from the various towers that these planes had to go past. But, do it tomorrow, Bush.
Yeah.
Do it tomorrow. Don't wait. Bomb something. It's so frustrating when stuff like this happens.
I think his pop would have bombed something by now. I think Louis Block is going to call the show, Anthony, as well. Hey, Ben, you want to throw a couple phone calls on?
Yeah, well, where do you want to go, Rick? What should we go with?
Why don't we go to Bluto on line 2?
Bluto on line 2.
Some of the guys in New York are thinking here.
Hey, Bluto. Uh-oh. Bluto.
What a disaster.
Hey, Bluto, what's up?
You should just kill anybody whose name you can't pronounce who has a beard longer than 2 inches. Just pick a country. I don't care. Kill somebody.
See, this is the frustration that we're feeling, man.
Oh, my God, I wanted to throw up when I saw it this morning.
And what was your first thought, Bluto?
I couldn't believe it. I'm staring at the screen. I heard the sports guys. I turned the TV on thinking it's a joke, and there it is. And I'm sitting there live, and the second plane comes out of nowhere. And next thing I know, I'm like, the building's gone. It's just gone. I work 2 blocks from there.
Yeah, we all know people down there. That's what,
There must be 50,000 people there.
But just how it escalated, it was just like, the first plane, I really thought it was just a Cessna. I mean, it still sucks, but I'm thinking, okay, some wacko, decided to take his life. And then the second plane hits.
When that second plane hit, you just blinked your eyes hard and went, what did I just see?
A 767 hits the Twin Towers, and then you keep watching, and then you find out the Pentagon gets hit.
And then when they fell down, it was just...
The whole news went silent. It just collapsed.
What do you say? You're just watching going, all right, the plane's hit, but hopefully, because you keep hoping that, all right, hopefully they'll be able to fight some of that fire and they'll get the people out and stuff. And then when you watch the buildings just come down, it was like, the only thing I could even equate it to is watching the Challenger explode. And then where you're sitting there and you're going... All right, maybe there's an escape thing or something, but then the realization hits that
parachute.
No, it's a disaster, and those people are just gone.
And there were people that they knew the building was collapsing, and they panicked and started jumping out the windows of the Twin Towers.
And then the Palestinians are cheering. Did you see that?
Yeah, handing out candy in the streets, right?
God, We're not like that.
You know, I'm a little pissed off at CNN for even showing that. I mean,
oh no, get us riled up. They should show it.
It doesn't get us riled up in the right way.
I'm ready to re-up right now. I'm going to go back down to my Navy station and hit it again. I am so pissed.
When I watch the buildings coming down, that gets me riled enough. Believe me,
Yeah.
we have to respond so strong that no one could even have the potential to do this.
Just wipe them out. That's it. The end.
All right, Bluto. Thank you very much.
You
Yeah.
guys suck.
Hey, Ben, throw us on with somebody else.
All right, you know what? We should also mention the national number. I don't know if it's working because we've had problems, but we want to mention the national number, 866-277-4WOW.
866-277-4WOW, right. And, of course, in the New York area, 877-692-1027, all right?
A lot of the reasons we never, in the past when we've had terrorism here, responded quickly and really strong is there's all that political bull crap you got to put up with. You know, you don't want to piss off this country or that one or this. I think this is big enough where the politics of it is going to take a back seat to the sheer revenge of it, that we have to now respond in a way that will show these people that, you know, you're going to do something like this, we're going to hit you tenfold. And I don't think politics is going to be playing a big part in this one. I hope not, anyway. I hope they don't pussy out on this.
Yeah, all right. Hey, hopefully Keith the Capo calls because he's pretty much at ground zero at this point, trying to do what he can as a New York City policeman. Ben, put us on with somebody else.
All right, let's go to Eddie right here. Go to Eddie. Eddie.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Well, you tell us.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I work for Pepsi. We're on the roof of the supermarket looking at this place. Then we drive downtown, and we're sitting there, and the thing collapses right in front of you. I'm looking at my friend. I'm like, did we really see this? Is this really happening here?
Yeah, you got to check your brain. Like, there's no way I just saw what I just saw.
Exactly. Yeah. You're like, holy God, there's people in there. It's like looking at a hotel in Vegas going down, and there's people, and sure, there's somebody you know in there, and you just can't believe that it's happening.
Yeah, and you get like a sick feeling. Like I just felt sick, and there's nothing you could do. You're powerless. You know what I mean?
I still got a knot in my stomach.
Yeah, I was watching. And I'm just walking around the house, and all I was saying, I'm shaking my head the whole time, just going, holy S, holy S, holy S.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. What
exactly. Like, you really think that this would happen in my lifetime? I mean, come on. In this day and age. Unbelievable, guys.
You got to be careful how you say things today, but it makes the Oklahoma City bombing look like a little scratch. Well, like a little scratch.
Yeah, you know how huge that was when it happened, and before they found out it was an American that did it. Do you remember that? Everybody was like, oh my God, we got to kill them, we got to bomb. Now we know this isn't the work of Americans. Now we have to respond hard.
All right, bro. Thank you.
He's gone. We hung up on him.
All right.
Let's go to Sean here on line 9. Sean.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, Sean.
I was up in Mawa. It's in northwest Bergen County.
Yeah.
And it's about 40 miles away. And I was driving in my car, and don't feel bad, Ope, I was actually listening to the sports guys, too. And when I heard about it, I went up to the cliffs, and I was looking. You could barely see the outline of the World Trade Center. And then all of a sudden, just boom, a huge fireball I could just see from miles away just shot off the side of it. And then I went home and started watching TV, and I just saw them come down, and I was like...
Yeah, it's,
What happened to your mic?
I don't know, did something open?
No. Wait, try it again.
There you go.
Okay.
Are you playing with the buttons here, too?
I'm not playing with the buttons here. I don't know how to play with the buttons here.
When we're back in New York, you just start hitting buttons for no apparent reason.
No, I'm not playing with the buttons today. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, Ben, is there any way to take a break so we can regroup and get the website hooked up and all that? I know we're not really playing commercials or anything, but...
We could feed in Wins, 1010 Wins, our sister station, our news station in New York. And go there for a couple minutes.
Yeah, we could. Let's do that for just a couple of minutes so we can regroup, okay? Hey. But it's I should tell people, it's Opie and Anthony. We're not in Manhattan because they've shut down the city. No one is allowed in Manhattan. If you weren't there before 9 o'clock this morning, you know, we've all been... sent home, basically. So we're in the studios of WLIR in Garden City. Want to thank them for helping us out because they really didn't have to let us broadcast from their studios today. Thank you guys, we appreciate it. Why don't you throw in that feed and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right.
All right. Hey guys, real quick. If you want to throw out the local New York number for the national, because the national just doesn't seem to work.
Okay.
Anybody listening to us, in the other cities, 212-757-1027.
Okay, cool.
They can try and reach us that way, too.
Right on, man. All right, we'll be back in a few.
Eileen LaPalmer, 1010 Wins, live on Hudson and Duane Street.
That's right. All right, and we are back with the Opie and Anthony Show. That's our sister station, of course, 1010 Wins here in New York City. But Anthony and I are not in New York City. We're on Long Island. We could not get in city. They pretty much closed down Manhattan, as you know by now.
Yeah.
And Ben and Rick are back at the station in Manhattan. They got in early today. And we're trying to figure this out as we go along today. So, and who do you have online? Keith the Cop?
We have Keith the Cop. Here we go. Keith.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, Keith, what's up, man?
We're just sitting here like in awe, just staring at it,
Where are you right now?
We're about 10 blocks away.
10 blocks away, and still just smoldering, and things burning down there, huh?
And you're just looking up in the air, and it's just like, it's amazing,
Yeah, two of the biggest buildings in the world were there, and now they're gone.
I mean, everybody's here. Other states have come to help us, and it's just really, it's unbelievable. I'm at a loss for words,
Yeah.
I mean, we're just waiting to see more about what's going on and, what we could do to help, but it's just, pulled everybody in.
Yeah, the emergency vehicles I saw when I was coming out here to Long Island, coming in the other way, I mean, from everywhere out on Long Island. They were just sending truck after truck of emergency vehicles out there.
Waking us up out of bed and bringing us in, and you just sit and you looked at it, and it's too incredible for words.
So either you're just waiting for orders right now? There's nothing you could do at this point, or
we're basically just going around the area, picking up residual stuff that's going around outside of the area, and having upstaged inside.
You got any word on injuries of any of the NYPD or any fire department? Or
we know there are, but we don't have any facts.
Yeah, jeez, man, that's too much. Where were you right when it happened? You were off duty?
I was off duty. I was home, and then they called us all in. So I mean, it's just boring just to sit and just look at and see this billowing smoke and nothing there.
Now, are there fires out of control down there, or?
Like I said, I'm about 10 blocks away. I really don't know the heart of what's going on down there.
Mm-hmm.
Things are sketchy.
Okay.
But, I'll, if I have anything that I can pass on.
I'm sure all of us will know a lot more, tomorrow.
Now, is there debris as far as you are?
Not, maybe, we're probably on the outskirts of it.
Like that dust you're talking about, the volcanic dust?
I've seen a lot of people walking around just covered in it.
Right.
Yeah, they're showing people on the TV that are just, their eyes are beet red, and they're covered in this white dust.
The hospitals are just out in the streets. Hospitals, just the streets are closed, and they're just treating people out in the streets.
They just showed Yasser Arafat, Opie, on the CNN, who also, him too, saying, despicable act, it's terrible. He's another one who should pay with his life.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta go.
Okay, Keith, if you find out anything, please give us a call. You're pretty close.
Okay.
All right, man, thank you.
No problem.
It's safe to assume, I guess, they're done with their terrorism here for the day, I hope. It's like, I hate reading, they're closing this, and these people have been sent home and stuff. They're done. They did it. They're long gone, Like locking up the barn after the animals get out.
Yeah.
Done. Oh, and here's some more footage of the people celebrating in their dirty country that will soon be bombed out, I hope. Damn, I hope so.
All right, why don't we take more phone calls, because everyone has a reaction. Everyone has someone that works downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got word that... most of the people that I know in that area, as far as family, are safe. Everyone is going through that same process today, trying to locate, family members and friends.
Yeah.
So, Ben, who do we have on the line?
We got Matt from Washington calling in. Matt.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Matt, what's up?
I just wanted to, first of all, say I love your guys' show.
Well, today's not a day for that.
I know that. It's the first time I've gotten through, but I usually go through the Pentagon. Today, for some reason, I was early to work, thank heavens, and because the metro stops are right in the Pentagon.
Phew, wow.
And yeah, I mean, getting into the city, I was fine, and all the stuff was going on in New York, and then they evacuated us from our building. My building's right across the street from the FBI building, and it was eerie getting out of there. I mean, you're walking up. I live about 20 blocks up from the Pentagon, and as I'm walking away from the Pentagon, you can see how black the charred side of the building. And it's just...
How insane is it that they were able to hit the Pentagon?
Well, have you ever been down here?
Hell yeah, many times.
Okay. But National Airport is right there.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's... a pilot makes an error, and in a plane that big, you're there at the Pentagon. I mean...
Yeah.
So I've also heard reports that a fighter jet was following that plane. So,
really?
And I also heard another fighter jet has brought down a Learjet, not shot it down, but like escorted it down.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, and possibly the one in Pennsylvania was shot down.
Well, yeah, we'll find out in the coming days. It's just amazing. They used, like Anthony said earlier, our own planes. Our own planes. Again. Who would have thought that this was possible?
Right.
Maybe one hijacker, maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking at least 4?
These are 4 planes, our own planes, American and United. I guess that was a conscious decision they made there, too. Things you take for granted. You look up, they're up in the sky all the time, these planes, Hey, who cares? You don't think they're going to crash into our buildings. You think about, they're going to take a boat maybe, like they did with the coal and go into the side of one of our military vessels or something.
Or maybe a Ryder truck or...
Yeah, the Ryder truck full of a fertilizer bomb or something. But, these are our own planes. And now, how long after the World Trade Center bombing in '93 did you always look at the Ryder trucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
You always looked and went, oh, gee, a little suspicious there, Now, you hear a plane going over and... these guys have succeeded in doing what they do. They're terrorists, and their job is to instill terror in the people. And now, the thing you've taken for granted for years, a plane flying over, is going to give you that uneasy feeling like, hey, this is exactly what those people heard before it smashed into their building.
And at any given time, you see a plane in the sky if you're in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Guys, and my roommates are all police officers down at the Pentagon. And I haven't heard from them at all today. So
see, that's scary.
Yeah,
man.
One of them's on the SWAT team, and another 3 are security, officers down there. So
yeah, this is kind of a bonding thing for the JFK listeners and the LA listeners here in New York, because
the good thing about the Pentagon was where they hit, they had just remodeled, and they were getting ready to remodel one further down the hall, and it doesn't look like all the many offices that could have been filled were filled.
Right. From what I heard on the news also, the other side of the Pentagon was really the money target that it seems, thank God, they missed.
Yeah, that's facing the water, and that's, they always thought that an attack would come from that side of the water side, because that's where all the brass sits and all, it's just eerie.
And then there was a report in your area that was false, thank God, that the local police saw a plane coming right up the Potomac.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Up the Potomac. See, well, that's the
everyone was just completely freaking going, okay, where's that plane going to end up?
Right. Well, the speculation on a lot of these newscasts, they want to be the first. They want to get the info out. I heard earlier that there were 8 planes unaccounted for, and apparently that wasn't true. 4 planes.
2 came from Logan Airport.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can only assume that their MO here was to take a plane that was going to fly from Dulles to L.A. or from Boston to L.A. And then shortly after takeoff, hit a target because they're full of all the fuel they need to get all the way across the country. A flying bomb.
Yeah, better than any bomb you could build and sneak into.
And they don't have to sneak it onto anywhere. They don't have to put it in a truck. They don't have to do it's the plane itself is the bomb. They've used our own aircraft as their bombs.
But Anthony, they had to have a weapon to.
Right. That's what we were saying, in order to hijack the plane. Well, that's what we were talking about a little earlier, the Mickey Mouse security at these airports.
That's true.
It's
very true.
It's a pain in the ass, and it does nothing. It does nothing.
That stupid question they ask all of us.
Right.
About did you pack your own bags? Did bags leave your site?
You know, I am one of the strongest advocates of rights to privacy and whatnot. I've always been. The one place I would give up some of my rights to privacy is the goddamn airport. You know why? I'm not taking weapons in, and I'm not taking drugs through, and I have no problem. I'm just trying to get from point A to point B safely. So you know something? You want to check my baggage? You want to really do an in-depth work, a job on who I am and what I'm doing there? I got no problem with that.
I'm with you there,
I got no problem there. But you know something? At the counter, if you pack your own bags or if they were out of your view, that's bull. It does nothing.
They should
nothing.
Scan them. I mean, I'm sure they
scan them, X-ray them, do everything.
Scan them right there.
Somehow these guys had to have gotten weapons on that plane to intimidate the crew into giving up their aircraft or kill them or whatever they did. I'm sure we're going to find out later on. But how did they do that? On 4 different aircraft.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Right.
All right.
And I also heard the one in Pennsylvania that went down was possibly going to Camp David, which is just north of here.
Well, there was rumors that Camp David was hit. I heard that on the way to this studio
one
today.
Fell short.
That was false because that was the plane in Pennsylvania that went down.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the info.
Take care,
Appreciate it. All right.
Bye.
Washington checking in.
They're saying that all air travel canceled in the U.S. until the earliest noon tomorrow, which is
canceled.
It's surreal to look up anywhere in this country. You look up, you will not see a passenger plane.
It's not just America. Most of the world has canceled flights.
Yeah. That was another surreal moment was when I walked out on my balcony in my apartment, and I hear fighter planes over Manhattan. You know, that was the only aircraft that was flying. You don't see them, but you hear them, and you know the roar of those engines are military aircraft. Oh my God, we've reached the point where we now need fighter aircraft over New York City to protect it.
And warships on the way.
Yeah, I saw military ships going up the river, up the Hudson.
All right. And who do we have?
Pete Radovich is on 6 with something here. Let's plug him down.
Pete from, I believe, CBS Sports these days.
Yes.
Hey, Anthony.
Pete, what's up, man?
A couple things.
Yeah.
I fly probably more than anybody you know.
Yeah, you fly a lot. He covers all the, what, you were affiliated with the NBA?
Right.
And
now
you traveled all over to the games?
I travel at least once a week, and I will gladly wait online for 3 hours every time I fly, if I have to make sure that they can strip search me for all I care at this point.
You know, I get annoyed waiting at airports if I have to wait because somebody's carry-on's too big or they don't have the right ticket or something. That annoys the hell out of me. But if it's for safety's sake and I know it's really going to make a difference, I don't think anybody would argue.
You know, but human nature is such that you say that today and a couple of months go by and people are like, oh, you know what? I just want to go to L.A. You know, come on, move it along.
Well, you know what? Then all the people there should carry around the little portable DVD player and show the plane hitting the building and go, okay, you want to maybe wait a little longer?
I'm just saying, I agree with you, but human nature is such. None of us want to wait. None of us want the hassle.
It is.
You just want to get to your location as soon as possible.
You're right. This is different, though. I think this is big enough. This is Pearl Harbor. This isn't.
Yep. There you go.
Oklahoma City was big, obviously, and the World Trade Center the first time was big. This is off the charts.
The response to this is, I believe, I hope it is, but I really believe it is going to be so big. I think it's going to make the Gulf War look small compared to what we have to do now to respond to this.
And speaking of war, you guys know, during the war in Croatia, I visited my family and visited a friend on the front lines. I've actually witnessed war.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life in America, I mean, I'm out in the suburbs. I wake up and I see this on TV, and then I walk out of my yard. I look up in the air and I see 4 military helicopters fly by, and I'm thinking, this is war again.
You're thinking, which country are you in?
Right. I mean, I've seen it.
You've seen it in your homeland.
I'm telling you, I'm having flashbacks. This is if Americans don't know what war is.
See?
This is war.
You're right. Everybody has that little emotional moment watching stuff like this. And, you know, when I was coming in, I saw South Manhattan just smoldering. And it was an act of war. It was a bomb that went off there. I don't care if it was a bomb made out of an airplane, a jet. It was a bomb. And you see southern Manhattan burning and a warship in the river And then you look, and there's the Statue of Liberty right out there and it's just, you realize, oh my God, we're at war here.
Yeah.
This is a war.
I'm in suburban New Jersey, and I'm looking at war, military helicopters flying by low.
Yeah. You look at the footage on the news, there's refugees that could be from anywhere in the world, you know. Sure, they're dressed a little better, you know. They're carrying their briefcases, but they're no different. They're people that have been displaced by a military action, and they're walking home, just like you would see anywhere else.
Yeah, well, guys, you're doing a nice job. I'm enjoying listening. Do continue, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Pete. If you have anything else, give us a call, because we're just kind of making this up as we go along.
Well,
today.
I'll tell you, you're going to hear hundreds of little, just personal stories. I can tell you right now. I know you guys know Jim Bell, who worked with us.
Yeah.
He was actually flying home from Europe this morning.
Oof.
And I called his wife, knowing that, and she said that he called her once he landed in Canada, so they diverted him to Canada. The idiots on the plane, the pilot actually announced to the passengers what had happened while they were over the Atlantic.
Oh man.
My God.
Can't you just say, hey, I'm in the mood for some Canadian food.
Right.
Or something.
How about some Canadian bacon?
Yeah.
She was pissed. I mean, she was telling me. I mean, I haven't spoken to him yet. He's still on the plane in Canada. They won't even let him off the plane. But he was actually in midair over the Atlantic, and the pilot came on and announced that 2 planes had struck the World Trade Center. So, I mean, you're going to hear stories like that. There's going to be a million different little stories. There are personal stories, but, I mean, it's
Pete,
all bad.
Pete, I just flew home from Athens last week, and Aunt and I were telling the stories on the air that helpless feeling you get just in general being over the Atlantic Ocean. And then
Could you imagine?
No, not at all.
Could you imagine having to listen to that?
No.
I mean,
And I was, when I came in, we took our vacation at the same time last week, and you come in from Florida, and I was coming into Kennedy Airport, and you pass by Manhattan, and you always look out and just, you're amazed by the view. I don't think there's many cities around the country that when you come in a jet that is so impressive as Manhattan. And, to just imagine that part of that skyline was just destroyed by terrorists is amazing.
I just pray that in the next few days I don't have to attend a funeral, and the same goes for everyone that's listening. I just think that the odds are against it, but
we've all been personally affected by this. You'll see.
People from high school, college, or anyone from the New York area. I mean, some way, unfortunately, you're going to know someone who's involved. Hopefully not to that degree.
That statement just gave me the chills, Pete. Thank you.
No, it's
but you're right. You're right.
I don't know. I'm telling you, morning, I'm sitting there, I cry, scream, I have a headache.
It's just, you know what I am? I'm so pissed off. I'm pissed off, but it's also a feeling of helplessness that, you're watching this and there was nothing you could do about it. There is nothing you can do about it. I keep going into detail, imagining what it might have been like on the planes and those bastards that were just probably smiling as they drove these planes into the sides of these buildings. It makes me sick. And again, as we watch here in the studio, one of the towers just crumble into the ground, and you sit and watch, and it pisses me off.
The only thing I have is it took from the first plane's impact to when the first tower collapse was over an hour, I think.
Yeah.
I can only hope that anyone that was on the floors beneath.
Well, Pete, that gave people a chance, but you know what?
Yeah,
that's a
long time.
That's a quick hour though when you have to walk down all those flights of stairs because the elevators are either packed or not working.
I'm sure they weren't working.
Unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of people were able to escape, but I don't know, man.
A lot of emergency workers too.
Those guys. An hour, so I'm hoping that most of the people did have time to get out. That's my only.
A lot of emergency workers, too, are going in there.
Right.
We're going in looking for people to make sure that people got out. And, you can only hope they were called out before the buildings collapsed.
Yeah, what amazed me about this whole thing is how easy it was to do.
Yeah, and
incredible.
It's like, didn't they have a clue? Usually they have a clue when something, is in the works with these terrorist organizations.
Here you go. And I'll get on my soapbox once again with this. We went through 8 years of prosperity here in this country. Everybody was in the stock market. A lot of people made a lot of money. Relative peace. when Clinton was in office. No one noticed that the ball was dropped as far as things like intelligence goes, and the military, and things used to be in place that would catch stuff like this before it happened. You'd get an inkling of a terrorist group getting ready to do something. And something of this magnitude, there should have been some smell in the air that something was brewing. But we all did nothing. We were very happy here in this country, and the administration that was in office 8 years, Clinton and his pals, and I'm not pointing the finger of blame here, because the terrorisms are 100% responsible for this. But there should have been something in place over the last 8 years that could have detected that something was happening and dropped the ball there. Well, and that's going to be addressed.
Yeah, that'll be addressed probably in a few days. Obviously, the concern.
Why? How could a terrorist organization organize something? A lot of people have to be involved to pull something like this off. It isn't 4 guys going, hey, you get this plane, I'll get this plane, and we'll crash it. It takes a lot more people that either remained quiet, or there wasn't enough intelligence in place to weed out any inkling that this was happening. So we got to step things up there, I think.
Yeah. Millions. I mean, millions, and God knows how much money taxpayers pay for intelligence and all that stuff.
Well, in the last 8 years, I think it was more important to put that money elsewhere for some reason. We totally forgot that the threat isn't with the Soviet Union anymore and missiles and ICBMs. It's with things like this, with small boats going up to our ships and people in our own planes now crashing into buildings. I mean, we got to put things in place, intelligence that could weed this out.
And you're right about the bastards. They waited for the LA flights, the California flights. They'd have enough fuel.
Full tanks of fuel. Yeah.
Exactly right.
All right, Pete.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Pete Radovich from CBS Sports. Who do we have on 7, Rick?
Al.
Okay.
Al.
Oh, hey.
What's up, Al?
Yeah, I work in the trade center, man. I got out of there. I was treated and released just about 40 minutes ago. Now I'm back in Staten Island.
You're not BSing with us? Because this isn't the day to BS, man.
No.
So what happened? You got to work at what time today?
Well, I got to work early this morning, earlier than I usually do at 8:30, and then I'm screwing around in the building, and the explosion happened, and I was lucky enough not to be on my floor, which is 97.
Get out of here.
Yes.
What floor were you on?
I was in the 50s. I was on 53.
And where did the plane hit?
It hit in about the 80s, actually.
The first one, right? It's a lot higher. Okay.
Opie and Anthony, you never felt such drama in your life. I mean, people were literally, beside themselves, running around crying.
Yeah, that's pretty dramatic stuff.
My heart is beating still just thinking about it.
All right, so the explosion hits, and what's the first thing you do?
Well, nobody knew what it was. Nobody had any idea. We were baffled. So, most people are walking around like, what was that? Was it an explosion? Where's that coming from? Some people are heading for the exits. Some people are at their desks still trying to talk on the phone.
Right.
It was such mayhem. But finally, we found out exactly what had happened, and some people started heading for that area of the building.
Why the hell would you do that?
That's what I'm wondering.
You know what it is? We aren't used to stuff like this, so we're fascinated by it, and we feel like we can't get hurt. This is America. If a plane crashed into the side of a building, hey, I'm going to go see.
Yeah,
we're a nation of rubberneckers, and it kills people.
Let's go check it out.
They were looking at the Grand Canyon or one of those things.
Right.
It was sightseeing. It was unreal. There were people running through the building taking photographs with their digital cameras.
Get out of here.
I swear to God.
Oh. All right, so then what did you do?
I went to the street, and now of course, I'm...
But I mean, were the elevators working?
No, well, actually, some elevator banks were working, because there are quite many of them, depending on what department you work for. But I made it to the street with not a problem. We were out of the building within 6 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
And debris was everywhere. It looked like nuclear fallout.
Yeah, just dust all over for blocks and blocks.
Then, of course, you know the rest of what you've seen on TV and everything like that.
So where were you when the second plane hit?
I was outside the building. I actually saw it. I'm actually there when it exploded. We feel the heat. We feel the compression. It was so horrific. Horrific is the only way I can explain it. The worst nightmare of life.
And people just screaming everywhere?
Yeah, now what I want to get through to you is that all the people who made it and went to treatment centers, they're full of debris and dust. I have a contention that's asbestos filled. That's why I'm calling your show. Anybody leaving for home,
You must take off the clothes you're wearing and put in plastic bags before you infest your family. They're going to come out on the news with reports that inhalation of asbestos particles have been imminent.
You know something? The buildings were built before they did that,
Listen, guys,
anti-asbestos
it's very important
thing,
that you let this message go out on the air. Anybody who is in the area covered with dust, you must bag your clothes.
Let's not start a panic.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but it's very important. In 30 years
I know that they have done, and the codes do say that over the past few years they've had to replace the asbestos that have been in buildings.
What's called a friable asbestos.
Right,
that's
usually
the stuff that's cracked up and ready to be, airborne. So the original stuff that was still nice and compact is still in the building. Guaranteed, because I know, because I'm a fireman. Not a fireman that you see riding around in the trucks, but the guy who runs a boiler system.
Right.
An engineer type. And the asbestos is all over the building. It is all over the air. It is now all airborne, all throughout Manhattan and throughout all the other boroughs now, too.
Wow.
Hey, did you see anyone jumping out the windows?
Oh, no, I see that, but I mean, who the hell would do that?
Out of panic. I mean, you know the building's collapsing. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
you're going to take the ride. You're going to take the ride down and hope for the best. Or
but anyway, remember I was saying that I do work on the 97th floor.
Yeah.
I have a friend who made it out from that. I just got in contact with him before I called you. He got burnt from his thighs down to his feet. He was out of there. His pants were scorched. His hair was burnt. He was running through walls of flames.
War injuries, that's what they are.
Yeah, he literally was like a war veteran.
Yeah.
He has a friend who was taking digital pictures. We're going to put him up on a free internet site.
All right.
For free. I'm not trying to plug anything.
No. Well, okay. All right, someday we'll be interested in that, but right now we got to move on.
Much.
Dudes, listen, the asbestos thing, most serious. I would not kid about that.
Well.
Anybody in the building covered with debris, bag your stuff and take a cold shower first.
All right, thank you, Al.
Thank you.
All right. Who else do we got?
Hey, guys, this is Rick. We're just getting a report that I guess there are people lining up near the military, where you sign up for the military, near Times Square.
Really?
Lining to sign up. I don't know if it's true, but actually somebody just walked in and told us about that.
All right, let's go to another phone call.
One other thing, too.
Yes,
all the letter trains, the subways here in New York are running, as well as the 5 and 6 came through, too.
So they
some of the subways
probably just outbound, right?
That's all they got. This comes down from winds.
I couldn't imagine anything inbound to Manhattan.
Yeah, and again, for the affiliates that can't reach us on the national line, you can call us in New York at 212-757-1027.
All right, cool. Let's go to another phone call.
I had just had dinner a while back at the top of the World Trade Center. There was a great restaurant up there that overlooked Manhattan.
Window of the world.
Window of the world, yeah.
It's so weird you're talking about it in the past tense.
It's I know.
It's just
you
amazing.
You can't believe it. It's such a fixture in New York. If you're in picture the Sears Tower. If you're in Chicago and that all of a sudden is gone. You're in Seattle, all of a sudden the Space Needle's gone. You're in St. Louis, the Arch, gone. I mean, landmarks, city landmarks. This is probably one of the most famous buildings in the world. And in New York, it's a major landmark. You drive past it all the time. And now, it's not there anymore. Picture it, just take the biggest, most famous building in your city and imagine it's been blown up.
All right.
Too much.
Who do we have on the phone?
We got Steve. Steve, you're on the show.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Steve.
Sad day, sad day.
Yeah.
Rick's news is pretty funny, though, because I've been saying all day that I'm ready to go sign up at this point.
Hold on. Wow, look at these people just running.
Yeah,
it looks like the running of the bulls.
Yeah, I know. There's people just running through the streets in panic.
It's just so, we're just getting more and more, a brand new video, and that's an amazing shot. Just thousands upon thousands of people running up, who knows, could be, I don't even know what road, I can't really tell, but,
could be Broadway down.
I was gonna say maybe Broadway, but just running
Manhattan.
away from the wall of, look at that. It's like, it's the only way I can describe it. It's like the New York City Marathon. When you see those shots where, there's so many people that you can't really run yet, so you're kind of walking fast. So.
They've closed the borders with Canada and Mexico. Aren't they supposed to do that anyway? Jesus Christ.
All right, who's on the line?
Hey, guys, we actually got Gary Ackerman.
Gary
Ackerman.
All right.
He's down. Gary.
Hi, how are you?
Gary, what's up, man?
Man, this is the largest single tragedy in the history of our country.
Absolutely.
It is unfathomable and unthinkable what's happened here, and there's probably many more than 10,000 people who've perished today.
Oh my God.
And right now it's kind of surrealistic, looking and listening to all this and hearing it described like in a distance through fog. And as soon as we start getting more details, there's not going to be a person who is in this city, who is on Long Island, who is in the state of New York, or in the country, who's not going to know somebody who was killed today.
Yeah,
that is a huge number.
This is a day just like Pearl Harbor was.
Yes.
You got to understand the scope of this. It's huge. We've had our brushes in the past with terrorism, of course. A lot of the times it's military or I hate to say it, but, we don't feel as bad when maybe it's 5, 6, 10 people that lose their lives. We kind of shut ourselves off to that. But something this big affects everyone in the country. It's huge.
This affects the entire civilized world. First, it's going to affect us personally because these are going to be real people pretty soon, rather than just whoever was there and we don't know who.
Right.
It'll be real people. This place was leveled. You have to look at all that steel and concrete just melted down. They're never going to find 1% of the remains of people that are lost there.
Not to mention the passengers of 2 aircraft that were in this wreck.
I would suspect more than 1,000 people who were just on the planes perished, and this is going to be a much larger number than that.
So what do you think the response should be, Gary?
Well, we have to really take stock of the situation. I think we've all pretty much come to the conclusion that this is a terrorist attack by a fundamentalist or several fundamentalist groups, probably one group.
Bin Laden.
Well, that's whose fingerprints seem to be on this
he's
right now. He's very well financed, and when you think of how many people had to be involved in this secret heinous act, people to recruit, people to train, people to bring people to the airports, to drop them off, people to the number on each plane that you need to overwhelm passengers, crew, pilot. The fact that you need well-trained pilots who knew exactly where the targets were and how to get there.
You need people that know how to fly jet aircraft. You can't just pull these people out of thin air. This is something we should have been able to pick up on. And I was saying that the past 8 years of prosperity have kind of undermined our intelligence. We dropped the ball.
Exactly. I just got back very recently from traveling through the Middle East, and I met with the leadership of many of the countries there, especially in the Arab world.
You met with Arafat.
I met with Arafat, as you know, quite extensively. I met with the leadership in Syria and Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince, and the people who run the government, the defense ministers and foreign ministers of each country.
What was your vibe with those people?
My vibe was that they were lying.
Right.
They were worried and concerned about the spillover from the Palestinian uprising within Israel and the West Bank and Gaza, etc., was going to spill over into their areas and disrupt their way of life, and that they claimed they were concerned, which of course they were, about it, the street, as they call it in their own country, the Muslim people pushing them. Because they were not active enough on behalf of their Palestinian brothers and weren't doing enough, and that we should get that resolved. There are people who don't want it resolved, and these are the people who don't want it resolved, and that's really what that's been all about. How do you respond to that?
Their whole power base is based upon this never being resolved.
Oh, exactly.
When stuff like that, that's when they're noticed. That's when they get the press, and that's when they get a little more power.
They get tremendous power. They talk directly to the Almighty. They're the only ones who know truth and justice, and everybody else be damned.
Right.
And they can do these vile and heinous things. I mean, this isn't a military target that they picked.
No.
This is the classic act of terrorists, to strike fear into the hearts of innocent civilian people, to stampede a population, to cause them to lose their national resolve and their will, and to back off. And this is why they hate us and they hate the Israelis as well, because we have shared values that they don't share.
Right.
And We just have to know that regardless of our political affiliations or personal philosophies, we have to stand as one now.
Right. You see bipartisan support of the president now?
I've been trying to help lead the charge on our side. We have one president, one commander-in-chief. He's going to call the shots. We're going to follow. We're going to explore, all the things that we have to do as far as the policy and the security breaches or whatever or the intelligence lapses that might have taken place. But we are going to stand behind the national response to this. And our first response is naturally trying to see how many people we could save here, if any. I mean, it doesn't look good.
Well, I hate to say this, but I think we're going to spend a lot of time cleaning up 8 years of neglect on the part of the Clinton administration for letting us get so relaxed with intelligence and the military. This is the same administration that gave the Chinese their rocket program, Gary.
I think that's unfair, and I think that the thing we have to do is avoid starting to say whose fault this is.
Oh, no, I know whose fault it is. It's the terrorists' fault. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
it wouldn't be fair for me to say that they dared not, while Clinton was president, they waited for Bush. He doesn't eat from Shinola, and therefore can take and I won't take a cheap shot like that, because I don't think that it's right. We're going to stand behind the president. Our military has to be strengthened. Unfortunately, we've blown the whole national surplus on giving everybody a lousy $300 when it should have been used for the defense. But that's beside. We have to stand as a people and not bicker over this and try to get political gain for one party or another.
Gary, what does the president do and when?
Well, the president has to be thoroughly briefed, and I think that everybody's trying to figure out what happened. This isn't something like you just turn to the back chapter of the book and see what the answer was. We have not received full briefings yet because everything is in a state of progress and trying to figure out what happened and how it happened. I was just talking to, Washington. We're being briefed by the people in the Sergeant at Arms Security, and I was just with the NYPD. I went down to from Queens. They took me over to Port Washington, where we loaded a bunch of EMTs, emergency medical technicians, onto ships.
Yeah, a lot of Long Island emergency equipment going to New York City.
To bring them into the city by boat. Because otherwise they can't get in there anytime soon.
I noticed the roads congested going westbound.
It is a mess. It's a nightmare, and people are sitting in traffic, trying to get somewhere, and then they try to get back, and that ties things up because they realize they can't get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
One of the sad sidebars to this horrendously horrifying incident is the reports we're getting and the clippings we're getting of people in some of the Palestinian areas that are celebrating
this,
for joy and laughing,
handing out candy.
It is that human beings would succumb to taking joy in this tragedy.
You use the term human being loosely, my friend, because
these are very sick, evil people that take any solace, no matter who is your political counterpart or enemy or whatever. You don't wish this kind of thing. I mean, when there's an earthquake in
Turkey,
in Pakistan, the Indians even go to help. When something happens in Turkey, the Greeks send help. The Israelis send people all over the world, to try on these emergency situations.
No, these people celebrate death in the name of God. It's just beyond any realm of reality or civilized thinking.
Right. You're absolutely right, and the fact that Mr. Arafat immediately after this happens denounces it as a terrible thing. I mean, what does he expect? He is absolutely guilty of giving license to people who would even think about this by talking the language of hate and terror, and that it's okay to kill, and to show it on television programs to their school children about killing and murdering, and this is acceptable. This is no way for human beings to behave, and I think that the problem is, indeed, we're not necessarily dealing with human beings.
Right. It's time to get our house in order.
We're going to get our house in order. We're going to hunt these dogs down, and they will pay the price.
Last scene of The Godfather. Michael Corleone takes care of family business. It's time.
We got family business.
Yep.
All right, Gary. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah. Let me just put in one additional thought here.
Sure.
And this thing hasn't been completely ferreted out yet. But the much heard about conference against racism in Durban, South Africa.
Yeah, that was a farce.
Where the Arab world had gotten together. They linked us together with the Israelis, of course, because we
it was an American-Israeli fest.
That's right, and the Americans and the Israelis walked out, and this is in part their revenge for that.
Mm-hmm.
And
the ultimate at their anti-racism summit, they decide to pull one of the hugest racist attacks in history.
Exactly right. It was a conference to promote their brand of racism and to get attention for it. And this is the fruit of their work. The free and civilized world cannot tolerate this kind of thing. This is an evil that exists, and this evil will not be allowed to stand.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
Keep up the good work, guys.
All right, Gary Ackerman. Thank you, Gary.
Hey, guys, we got Louis Black on the line.
Oh, I don't know if I could deal with him today.
Hey, one other thing, too. They're coming across CNN here. We got it on the studio that there's another building down in that area on fire.
Building 7 in the World Trade Center, is burning. And
it's ablaze, right.
Okay.
You guys too much.
Let's talk to Louis Black from The Daily Show and Comedy Central.
Louis.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Louis.
How we doing?
Jesus.
I know, I just was listening to Gary. It is unbelievable. I mean, what's truly unbelievable is I wake up this morning and go into the shower. I'd finally get an apartment building that has a view.
Yeah, right? Look at Lewis's luck.
And it would be, oh, great, I get to view this.
Carnage.
But I get up to go, I mean, this is the way things are, because you live your life. You get up, I'm going to take a shower, I'm going to go see my shrink, for obvious reasons. And walking around, and the window's wide open, and I don't notice it.
You didn't even notice?
I was looking at, because I'm looking at for part, I've got a window that kind of spans around, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the water, I'm looking at the boats, walk away. And it wasn't until I put the TV on, and I went, Jesus. And then you look out the window, and it was unbelievable. A friend of mine was in Brooklyn, who I talked to and saw this. I don't know how you handle this. I mean, because I'm sitting here. I was looking at it for, but saw the plane hit it.
Wow.
Hit the second building, standing in Brooklyn on the street.
Well, the thing is, everyone was looking in that direction because it's not every day you see the World Trade Center on fire.
Yeah.
So everyone was looking in that direction. So a lot of people did see the second plane hit it.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're amazed that you're just looking at the World Trade Center burning. But then when you see another plane hit it, you rub your eyes, open and close them a few times, and then just curse like, what the F did I just see?
Yeah. Because it really does, it's... The toughest thing is that, the only thing that comes close in my experience is, Kennedy being shot, in the sense that everything changes.
Right, as a country, right.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, the Kennedy thing may not be a big thing, but it was, because, it was like, well, if you can kill the president, any schmuck can kill the president.
Right.
We're in a different ballpark. And this was like, if they can do as you were saying, I mean, this is, I could see a Cessna, okay?
Right. Yeah.
I can understand that. I could see somebody taking off from Hackensack.
We've talked about that on the show, Louis.
Yeah.
We were surprised that no one has done that before. Hey, I'd hate my life and I happen to be a pilot.
Yeah.
What was that?
Initially, when I saw the building burning, I thought that's what it was. I thought, okay,
right.
Great.
Yeah.
And then,
that's all that's left.
But it was, how many? It was 1, 2, 3, 4. Jets.
Louis, I'm sorry. We're just looking at ABC News. They have a new video of the World Trade Center. All that's left, the front of one of the towers, is all you can say.
It's like a scene out of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Now the thing is, the only thing we really know about terrorism, aside from the real life experiences we've had, have always been the movies. So you always thought, all right, I watch in the movies and they make an A-bomb or something and they bring it over here, or they have a bunch of troops that come across from Mexico and take us over. When you think that you look up at aircraft and now it's a potential weapon, a jet plane now, you look at it, there's a potential terrorist weapon, it changes your thinking now.
Yeah.
It changes your everyday walk through life thinking.
Who would have thought that this is the way it would have happened? You know, because I think
that's what I meant. Yeah, by movies, you're just.
But I mean, you know, when you work and live in Manhattan, it's in the back of your mind that eventually something really bad is going to happen. I mean, 8 years ago with the World Trade Center, that was pretty bad. But it's always in the back of your mind. It's going to be a little worse next time. But I don't think any of us thought it would happen in this way with our own aircraft. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and it's also you know, this mentality that you learn. And it's a hell of a way to learn it. But the mentality that you learn when you go to, if you go to Europe, and you realize that these people have all been bombed.
They've dealt with this for many years.
We were always like, how could this happen?
Well,
we got in a state of, how do you train? I don't have the energy to get through the day.
Right, okay? And now to deal with this.
How do they train 4 pilots? I mean, or however many other people.
Who knows how many there were initially?
And that's what I'm saying. You can't just do this without a lot of people being involved. You can't just grab someone and put them behind the controls of a 767 and have the pinpoint target. This is something that went on for quite some time, and we were not aware of it.
Yeah.
We had no clue this was being planned.
And each plane had more than one guy to take it over.
It had to.
Yeah, you can't just have one guy.
You can't have one guy.
The other thing... and the other thing you learn, too, is another friend of mine said today quite aptly that, because I travel, I'm on an airplane all the time.
Yeah.
And I go through security, and, about every second time, they actually check me for they check your bag where they see if there's something on it, where they do this thing now, they take a piece of paper and touch your bag and check it.
Right.
And you kind of look at it, and it's like there's a sense of it. As a friend of mine said, it's like they've got the checkers from D'Agostino working this.
Yeah, exactly. It's bull crap security.
It is, and it has been. And I've always kind of wondered, shouldn't we? When people would stop me, I'm like, and people get irked. You would get irked, and I go, you can't get. What are you, nuts?
Yeah.
If it takes us 20 minutes to get through there, because that's what they do everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, right.
Except for us.
Well, we feel so secure with those 2 huge oceans between us and the uncivilized animals of the world.
Yeah.
And then you realize they used our own planes, Lewis.
Yeah, I know.
They used American and United Airlines to smash symbolic landmarks of America, the World Trade Center and the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. We were looking in the wrong direction.
Truly. And then the other one that went down in Pittsburgh, which they're now saying it made a turn to go to Washington, was probably,
could have been shot down.
I have no idea, but it made the turn, and that's where that one was heading. It was back to D.C., which meant they were probably either going for Congress or the House.
And that was a 747.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond, and it's, it's like. And it's the day where, this is what people say, everybody always goes, we've talked about this all the time on the show. Mm-hmm. Where does comedy stop?
Yeah.
It stops today.
This is where it's, but you know something? 75 years from now, they'll make fun of it.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, if I'm alive.
We're a mess.
If I'm alive and there's a stage, yes. But not,
No, absolutely, this is where you just draw the line.
But everybody always says, what is the line? And I don't think there's much of a line, okay? I mean, I think you can make a joke about practically anything.
Oh, man, you've been on our show? Sure.
But when you reach any kind of point of this type of violence, there's nothing, you just have to stop. There's nothing, there's nothing funny. The level of stun that most of us are at is beyond belief.
Yeah, the reality of it has more impact than any dopey joke you would ever even hazard to make about it. I mean, just the reality of watching the World Trade Center towers crumble to the ground. Yeah. I mean, who ever thought you'd see that? When they tried it in 93, you sat almost smug and proud going, look, bastards couldn't knock it down.
That's right.
They had a truck full of explosives. We all saw the crater it made on the news, and we said, look, you bastards, you couldn't even knock it down. You had carte blanche to the garage. You blew it up the base of this building, and it still stands. Go F yourself.
Yeah.
And here we are, 2001. They used planes, our own planes, and to watch them both of these things crumble to the ground was just like you felt beaten and helpless and pissed.
Yeah. And the thing is you just, and everybody's just watching this. All you want is like, how do you pull something like this off? I mean, one plane I understand. I could get that.
Yeah, we said that earlier.
One I get. Four, I'm beyond how.
No, you need to conspire with so many people to pull this off that we should have gotten an inkling that this was going down.
Yeah.
We've failed over the last 8 years. We had a lot of prosperity in this country, and we kind of put off things that we didn't want to think about.
Yeah.
The Soviet Union crumbled. Great. That's wonderful. That doesn't mean we don't have to turn our intelligence binoculars somewhere else. And this is where we have to look.
Well, the other thing was that how, once. The thing that I didn't understand, and God knows, you'd think, that I'm the commie pinko of the group. The one thing that is that you've got, as my friend calls him, Omaha bin Laden, and that thing occurs at the World Trade Center, and we don't go, well, that's it. We're hunting him down. And
you know what?
We don't stop.
Louis, we don't assassinate people. That's uncivilized.
I know we don't assassinate him, but you go and get him.
You
go,
kill
that's it.
Right.
It's called tough.
Exactly.
I don't care. I'm not talking about killing him. I mean, but I do say you track right to him. You go right into whatever countries, and you say, that's
He's
it.
in Afghanistan. And you know something? Afghanistan is backing this guy and supporting him and giving him a place to live. So now Afghanistan has to suffer.
Yeah.
This is how we have to deal with this.
I don't know how else you deal with it. I mean, you were talking about the Palestinians. I mean, these guys are, I would say, but when I saw it, my immediate reaction was it's got to be the Palestinians because they're the ones basically who were in the most sense of rage.
Right.
And so, if you do it, you don't celebrate.
Oh, they are just partying in the streets.
They're in the streets, Louis.
How stupid is that?
I hope the next video of them dancing is on the nose of one of our bombs.
Yeah, I mean, it's really beyond belief. They have just destroyed themselves in the court of world opinion.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, because in a sense, they had the underdog thing going for them.
Yeah.
They've been. In a sense, I mean, I'm Jewish. These people, in a sense, historically, and this is the thing I hope we get over in my lifetime. When you set up a situation like you set up in Israel and Palestine, hundreds of years ago, whereby you set it up so that you don't have that the British and the French go in there and set it up so that it has no solution.
Yeah.
They set it up. They're going to go, okay, you Palestinians, go live in a dump. And we're giving this to the Israelis.
Right.
And everybody goes, okay. And everything I read historically, I'm going, well, didn't somebody at some point go, look, something's going to happen from this?
Well, you know what, Louis? I don't feel that's our effing problem. And I think they should fight it out as best they can, and the top dog gets it all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If they have a problem between each other, which they have, and they have for quite some time, fight it out amongst yourselves. Leave us out of it.
Well, yeah, but I always said, and I still believe this, if we had just gone over there and set up Vegas.
Yeah, right?
In the Middle East, which
Casinos.
is what you do when you have a desert. You don't make it. You don't do agriculture. You do what we did in Vegas.
They're fighting over crap.
Exactly. The people who gamble together, don't fight.
Yeah.
I mean, they are fighting. They're fighting over, as my grandfather who left there 100 years ago said, I said, why'd you leave it? He said, it was a dump. He said, I don't know what these people are keeping here.
And I don't like the idea of Osama bin Laden coming out and saying, it's not him.
Yeah.
He had no responsibility. He tried to blow it up in 93. This is like the crackhead that robs the same liquor store over and over until they catch him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got him written all over it. He is the premier terrorist these days, the Vogue terrorist. So he's got to have some responsibility for this.
Unless it's from something, unless it's from like, unless we're dealing with like James Bond's kind of enemy,
yeah, really,
some nut job we've never
Dr.
heard of.
No or something, yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one with the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got the money to finance this. And you know something? I don't even care if his involvement has just been influencing some other nut job. Take this guy out.
Yeah.
They've had interviews with him. You know, they've had American journalists go in and interview this guy. Put a goddamn gun in the camera.
Yeah.
For the love of God. Unbelievable.
All right, Louis. Well, thanks for helping us out today.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Please
As
call
always, guys.
Well, call us back in an hour or so, all right?
Huh?
If you guys call us back.
Okay, well, I'll keep my eye out.
All right.
You guys take care, okay?
Thanks.
And I'll see you soon.
Yeah, you got it.
Take it easy, Louis.
Louis
Bye-bye.
Black from The Daily Show on Comedy Central.
He's always a nut, and this must have just put him right over the top. I mean, he's in New York City, and he's one of those guys that are
pretty
just
neurotic to begin with.
He's neurotic. Something like he can't handle if someone's in front of him buying too many lottery tickets online. So this just must have
put him over the top. All right. Hey, Ben, Rick.
Yeah.
Yes.
We could use a break.
All right.
Real quick, before we go to break, I guess we're going to pick up 1010 Wins, their news coverage again. Real quick info about the subway service in New York.
Yeah.
Most service has resumed, with the exception of the 3, the C as in Charlie, or the Q Express. Service on the following lettered lines has been restored: A, B, D, E, F, G, J, L, Q, R, and the W lines. Those are all running, plus the numbered lines of 1 and 9, 2, 4, 5, and 7. All those have been restored. So people are trying to use the subway system. Things seem to be getting back to normal slowly but surely.
Is this Mad Max or Rick telling us this?
They got a picture of the skyline. How insane is that you don't see the Twin Towers?
They're gone. I know.
Here and right
That's
there.
it.
Yes, guys.
You know, and referring back to something you guys were talking about, how the size of the operation this terrorist group must have put together. I mean, think about it. They've had 8 years to put people in place, get jobs in, airline security and stuff. They could be anywhere.
Yeah, I know. That's the scary part.
That's the scary part.
All right, man.
Hey, guys, one other note, too. It looks like the national phone lines are starting to work. So 866-277-4WOW.
If you're not in the New York area. All right,
and we'll be back in in no time at all. I just got to take a leak. Really bad.
All we're doing is taking a leak. That's it. I mean, it is really weird for us today because we're not in Manhattan because obviously they shut down the city. So Ed and I had to go to WLIR on Long Island. Our friends here. We help each other out from time to time, and I want to thank them. We're in the Party 105.3 studio.
I know.
I live on Long Island. I don't even know what station this is.
You see.
Oh, that's the program director? I'm sorry.
You see the board down there, though? The board that they write the stuff on that the DJs are supposed to, like the boards we make fun of all the time.
Yeah.
That have the little things on them.
Start using Long Island's party station again.
Instead of, what was it, Long Island Summer Party Station?
Oh, so you dropped the summer on it. Oh, look at you being a program director.
What else, Opie?
Think about what's going on this time of year. School, football, Jets, Giants. Terrorism. You gotta add terrorism to that, Mr. Director.
Yes.
Gotta get personal. A lot of stories coming in. Hey, you guys, we want to talk to a lot of people in New York that have personal experiences with this whole thing today, okay?
Or just how they're feeling, even, if you were sitting at home or something.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
Yeah, we've got one guy who is on line 8. We're going to get to him real soon. And Phil in D.C., who's just 3 blocks from the Pentagon.
Oh, make sure Phil stays there. And guys, today is not the day to mess with us and do Baba Booey pranks and all that crap. So please help us out today, okay? And Ed and I are running down the hall.
No, you go first.
I know. We'll separately take the leak, even though it's different circumstances today. And we'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes, okay?
Right.
All right, so we'll throw it to 1010 Wins here in New York, our sister station.
Again, one of the chaplains
to give relief to the firefighters.
Hey. All right, we're back. It's the Opie and Anthony Show. That's our sister station, 1010 Wins here in the New York area.
I needed that.
A little bathroom break. So, all right, here we are trying to do something today. Our bosses insisted that we do a show. It was important to do a show and talk to your listeners today.
I think it's, I think it's kind of a good, kind of therapeutic there, People like calling up and venting. I think that's what our show's always been about, Me personally, I'd rather stay at home, to tell you the truth. But people need to vent or want to vent and tell their stories.
Well,
so
let's move on with some of these phone calls. Ben, who do we have next?
We got Philip in D.C. checking in. Philip.
Hello.
Hey, Philip.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, just wanted to relate. I only live about maybe 3 blocks from the Pentagon. my usual routine of getting ready for work this morning when, the building actually shook. And, I had the TV on. I was watching the thing with the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
Wondering what the heck is going on.
Yeah, just imagine that. You're in D.C., you're watching the World Trade Center going, oh, geez, I can't imagine happening. And all of a sudden, a couple of blocks away, the Pentagon goes up.
And your building's shaking.
Yeah, unbelievable.
What did you think right when you felt it start shaking? Did you think, uh-oh, here we are now in Washington, and where next?
I presume the worst as far as, something that happened, maybe an explosion or, electrical transformer or something, but I went outside.
You didn't think it was another terrorist attack?
I had no idea. No idea until I actually saw it on the news when they said that a plane had actually went down toward it.
And then you're thinking, what's going to get hit next? When is this going to end,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, 2 into the Trade Center, 1 into the Pentagon. Now there's one down outside Pittsburgh.
That's when everyone started really freaking out. I mean, did you hear planes going over your head?
Oh, yeah.
And I did too, and I was like, you second think, you second guess. You're going, is this the next one that's coming in somewhere? You know
they were going for the Empire State Building as well. Oh. Something happened there. Maybe the guy chickened out or something. Said, what?
Chickened out.
Well,
I don't think these people chicken out.
Who knows?
I don't think they chicken out.
So you think it was 4?
They
four
go
hijacked
with
planes and that was
smiles on their effing faces, these people, plowing into the sides of buildings, strapping bombs to themselves, going into restaurants, whatever it is. Do you know what these people believe? They believe if they die during one of these causes, they're a martyr. So what they get is 70 virgins. They go to heaven. And they're right there on the right hand of God. The rivers of milk and honey, and 70 virgins are theirs.
And God takes care of them. 70 virgins.
They are.
So they do these things thinking that they don't think twice about it. It's like, this is great. Oh my God, I can't believe I was picked to be the guy that blows myself up.
Yeah,
that's the mentality you're dealing with.
In the Pentagon, when you found out it was him.
Yeah, we were down there, as close as they would allow us to get.
See, that's how we are messed up as humans.
We're rubberneckers.
Because that's what happened at the World Trade Centers. Everyone, ran down there to see how close they could get.
Right. The people on the upper floors and on the floors below where the first plane crashed actually said, "Oh, plane crashed up on the 80th floor. Hey, let's go up and check it out."
Yeah, they went up with digital cameras. That's one report we got today. We can't really confirm that, but I
don't doubt it at all, knowing humanity and how people think. It's retarded.
So you ran down toward the Pentagon, and how close did you get?
Probably within about 350, maybe 400 yards. I mean, I had a pretty good view of what was going on.
And there was just a gaping hole on the side of that?
Couldn't really see it from all the smoke that was pouring out of it, but you could tell that something big had hit it.
Yeah. And in every video clip I've seen from the various locations that these planes hit, you see no piece of wreckage from the plane whatsoever. These things were disintegrated on impact. Amazing. Bastard.
Anything else, bro?
Other than that, I mean, I had a friend of mine that I happened to catch up with that works in the Pentagon. She described it as pandemonium as far as them getting out of there.
Yeah.
I mean,
every time you'd watch a movie, because that's the only real thing we have that connects us to these terrorists, what we've seen in movies. And you watch shows like the X-Files or whatnot. And the Pentagon, my God, there's no way a plane's going to hit it. The ground will open up and these anti-aircraft missiles come out, right? There's a way to protect it. You know something?
No. It was that easy.
Nothing. We have nothing.
All right, let's move on. Ben, who do we have next?
We got Danielle, who works from Boston, who works at Logan Airport in Boston.
We've flown out of there many times.
Hey,
I'll drive you to the airport.
Hey, Danielle. We've been on that flight from Boston to L.A. What's going on?
Not much.
Anything you could add?
Well, I've been thinking kind of all day about how the airport security is really going to come under attack now because of, especially, these 2 flights out of Boston were both the ones that hit the World Trade Center, and these 4 planes are hijacked. And, like you guys mentioned earlier, they ask us security questions and you show your ID, and it's, it's not really a foolproof way, to see what's going on. And, a lot of people are wondering how they're getting these weapons or whatever it is past airport security and, if they have people in place.
It's feel-good security is what it is. It's there to make us feel better, but it does nothing.
Because, even if they had somebody in, like, an airport security type scenario, like, you don't know who's going to be in front of which machine, and they could get shuffled to another machine. But, I mean, God forbid they had somebody working for an airline. like, you look at the motives behind, the 2 United flights and 2 American flights.
Yeah.
And my heart obviously goes out to all those people because they're all my coworkers.
Yeah.
Passengers and everything.
Hey, Boston, you that pissed about the Yankees?
Yeah, please.
Come on.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Both of those planes came from Boston.
I know. So, and you think about why they picked those airlines, and it could have been because they had somebody on the inside. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that in most major airports that I'm aware of, airline employees are not subject to the same security scrutiny as, say, just a general passenger.
It's interesting you bring that up because I just flew in from Athens last week, and I noticed, the pilots, and the stewardesses. They didn't go through the same things we did.
No, they don't.
They just went right through.
Yeah, they go either through a separate area or, most airports have the upstairs, downstairs levels.
I was thinking about that because I'm a paranoid flyer, and I'm like, that's interesting. The stewardesses and there go the pilots just walking through everything.
And you like to think, all right, they have the credentials, but there's got to be someone that would know if they're fake, right? You say to yourself when you're in the airport, they got to have people in place that would look and go, that's not John Smith. I know him, and he comes in. But there isn't the recognition like that. If you have the proper credentials, you get through. Security is a goof to make us feel better.
It's so easy to say that today, but I've always thought that airport security was a complete joke. Because as humans, we've mentioned this a bunch of times, we have no patience. We have no patience. We just want to
wait.
Every time we get on something, and you see something new on the TV.
I'm looking at the TV, and there's just new footage that keeps coming in of the World Trade Center. That one was a real low-angle shot of when the second plane hit the tower, and the fireball, that's about from maybe 2 blocks away. And just huge. It just gets me more infuriated watching it. But it's one of those things, you just can't take your eyes off of it.
But like you guys said earlier, obviously this wasn't just 4 guys saying, all right, I'm going to take this one, you take that one. They obviously had some people in place. And if God forbid they had people in United American or whatever, they picked the long-distance flights for the fuel, obviously. But you also have to look at, these were all early morning flights, which are considered originating flights, which means the planes could have sat there all night because they came in the night before. Anybody could have had access to those planes who's got an airport ID.
Well, we're going to find out all that, obviously.
It's so scary. It's all speculation, obviously, but it's just so scary to think of.
This took hundreds of people.
Yeah, this was an organized attack.
And we didn't have one clue?
Yeah, something should have funneled down to our intelligence people around the world that something like this was going down. And I heard a report that Bin Laden had told somebody that something big, something unprecedented,
he said that about 3 weeks ago,
was going to happen.
Yeah.
And right there, you should take note and really look into what might be happening. Check out contacts. But you know something? I don't think our intelligence agencies have the contacts that we used to. It's a different world now, and now we go to Plan B and figure out how we can make it safer. They're our own planes, for God's sake.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Ben, who do we got?
Let's go to Steve here on line 8. Steve.
Where's Steve coming?
He's from New York.
Hey, Steve.
What's up? I'm in Long Island, man. I'm bummed.
Yeah.
I have a friend that works on the upper 90s in Building 2.
You heard from him yet?
No. Nobody's heard from him. His family called St. Vincent's. They haven't heard anything. And it's mayhem. It's mayhem. And, I'm sitting in my house. I wanted to go out and beat the hell out of somebody.
Yeah, but it's an anger. You have nowhere to work it off, I don't want to get into what I almost did, but you know what I just kind of thought of? The only positive freaking thing I can do is I'm going to give blood, man. I was watching the TV. They're saying how they're low on blood.
Well, they're saying anyone in the New York area, if you're near a hospital, to give blood.
Yeah, it's the only positive thing that I can possibly think to do right now. Well, I'm going to do something, that's just until I find out. It's just like a waiting game, and
it's a waiting game for, everyone. I finally got, some good news because we had some people in my family in that area, and we finally, hunted them down. But there are thousands upon thousands of people out there still trying to get in contact with people that either work in the building, work near the building, and they still don't have an answer. They just don't know where these people are.
they're not going to have one for a while. You know, I mean, it's chaos. It's a war scene.
Plus, the phone service in the New York area, it's almost impossible to call someone in New York.
I was working in Brooklyn. My cell went down the entire day. I couldn't get in touch with anybody. I mean, it's insane. I don't even want to get into that. It's insane. You don't know what to do. And it's the only positive thing I could try to think to do right now, rather than slam my head into a wall. So they're saying they need it. So, you know, if people are out there, even if they never did it before, go do it. You might actually help save a life in this situation, you know?
Good deal, man.
So, you know, and you're right about the airport security, bro. It sucks.
Yeah. So, that's an easy thing to say today, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I worked in the Delta Airlines terminal on JFK when we were doing construction there, and these guys are supposed to be checking us. We used to laugh, man. I could have got a rocket launcher in there. And like you said, it's like guys from King Cullen working the security. I mean...
Well, this is going to change.
I hope it does change.
It's going to get a lot harder.
You said it earlier, and I would rather give up another half hour and know that when I get on that plane, I'm safe, and something like this isn't going to happen again, than sit here and rush it along.
Yeah, I don't know. We're weird, though, when it comes to that stuff. A few months go by, and we're impatient, and we're like, come on, just get me through. You know?
Yeah.
You're right.
It's a scary thing. It's just human nature. I just hope something changes, that this never happens again. But listen, guys, you know, I love you guys. Have a good day, man.
All right, Steve. Hang in there.
Take care, man.
Cool.
You know what else now? The focus right now, of course, with the World Trade Center being blown up is the loss of life, you know? But I think in days to come, you're going to see the other residual effect. You know how much information was in there on their computers? All those papers you saw flying down to the street level? That is the finances of a lot of places in the world. And I don't know how they're going to recover that information. How many things have you sent to One World Trade Center? You know, you're right. It's the address on an envelope. No matter where you are in the country, a lot of the offices there had information, credit information, things like that. That just I see how it could ever hurt. And that'll be coming up, I'm sure, in a few days. But the loss of life now is the big issue.
All right, Ben, who do we have?
We actually we got some news coming in here.
Yeah, speaking of what Steve was talking about donating blood.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of places around the area, New Jersey, Westchester County, Long Island, that we can read off real quick that people can go to if they want to donate. In Manhattan, New York Blood Center, 310 East 67th Street. Or you can go to the American Red Cross at 150 Amsterdam Avenue. In Brooklyn, try 120 Lawrence Street. That's near Metro Tech if you want to donate blood. On Staten Island, 1625 Forest Avenue. On Long Island, there are 4 locations. One in Lake Success, 2500 Marcus Avenue. In Bohemia, out east a little further, 3125 Vets Highway. Rockville Center, 333 Merrick Road. And in Huntington, Route 110. And for New Jersey people, New Brunswick on 167 New Street. And in Westchester, Elmsford, 525 Executive Boulevard.
All right, Rick. And what if someone wants a sandwich?
I'm going to have a tough time getting back home, man. I'm looking at the live shots still, just watching Lower Manhattan burn is unbelievable.
All right, Ben.
One other thing, too. Penn Station has reopened and limited eastbound service is happening, so...
All right.
Yeah, and for anybody looking for information out of St. Vincent's, the info number is 212-604-7085.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
And Ant, you were mentioning earlier about, only seeing this stuff in movies.
Yeah.
If you want to rent a movie to get a feel of what it's like, the movie The Siege with Denzel Washington. I don't know if you ever saw that, but
Rick, I don't need to rent a movie today.
Yeah, I think there's enough destruction on real TV.
I think I have a good idea by just watching CNN and Channel 7 here in New York and 4 and 2.
But the people out of the area can get kind of a feel.
Great. That's what you need. A feel.
Do you suggest surround sound, Rick?
Yeah, home theater. Definitely. You might want the home theater.
Find a good home theater system.
Vibrate the floor.
All right, man. Let's go to another phone call.
We got John in Washington, D.C. here. John.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, John?
Sorry, I got to talk to you under these circumstances.
Yeah, we usually come in. We like to have a lot of fun. It's hard to fit nudity into today's show.
I usually listen to you guys when I want a good laugh. I listen to you in Boston. I used to live in New York City. Now I live in Washington, and it's a bad way to talk to you guys.
Wait,
But,
hold on. I just because you made me think of something. Jeremy, our program director in New York, he calls me up, and I'm just assuming there's no way Ant and I are doing a show today. I'm like, I go, Jeremy, I don't know if I have to tell you this, but there's nothing funny about this, and Ant and I kind of have a comedy show. And he's like, no, there's so much more to you guys, and I think your listeners need to hear from you today about and get a feel of your serious side.
Okay. Terrific.
I'm like, all right, then find us a studio because we can't even make it into Manhattan today.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how long we're going to be. How are we getting into work tomorrow into Manhattan?
I need to get there. I just need to be there. It's in a weird way, John, what could you add today?
Well, what I could add is, and up front, I wanted to tell you, I'm not BSing you guys. It's the God's honest truth. I'm an airline pilot. I know, and I wouldn't call and BS about that. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say who I work for or whatever, but Anthony brought up a good point earlier about, training of pilots to do something like this. And to be honest with you, to be perfectly honest with you, to actually what we call hand fly the plane, just sit there and you're flying it, the autopilot's off.
Right.
That would be very extremely difficult. Like you see in the movies, people say, "Oh, can anybody fly a plane?" And the little Cessna guy comes up front, flies it.
And they talk him, or the little blow pilot in the airplane movies.
Yeah, that's very hard to do. Okay, but one thing you're overlooking, and it's just a theory, but the autopilot is highly sophisticated.
Right.
And with a little bit of teaching, I could have you flying the plane off the autopilot.
Let me tell you something. I don't want to sound silly or anything, but have you ever used Microsoft flight simulators?
It's very realistic.
Yeah,
very realistic.
I tried to fly the 767 on the Microsoft flight simulator.
That's one of the planes that hit the tower.
It is very difficult, but when you do master the autopilot, it's easy.
Now, the thing is
dialing in, and heading, speed, altitude, and hitting execute, and that's it.
Now, they definitely would need access to, some type of technical information like manuals.
Right, something tells me...
If you had someone with limited experience, even an airline pilot that was pretty limited in their experience, but they knew how the autopilot worked, and you had someone with minimal pilot training, you could, I could get someone who has minimal, even a private pilot, give them minimal training on just the autopilot. Once the plane takes off, as soon as you, in normal circumstances, not always, when you're through 500 feet, which happens in the blink of an eye, that plane goes through 500 feet literally in a split second, the autopilot's engaged. And those guys are managing the plane. They're not actually flying it, they're managing it.
They picked a perfect VFR day, too, because it's visual flight rules. Today was a beautiful day. No clouds, not a cloud in the sky.
Right,
and because if it was cloudy, they wouldn't have been able to do this.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not as easy maybe as I'm making it sound, but it could be done with minimal training. You could make someone able to program the plane to do what it did. And it sounds far-fetched, but it could be done.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had the right technical background and training to do it, you could do it. You don't have to be thousands and thousands of hours of experience in an airline. You do it with minimal experience. And I don't mean to sound sadistic or give anyone an idea. I'm not going to say how it could be done, but it could be done,
Yeah, no,
and
I don't doubt it.
that's the thing. Hand flying it couldn't be done.
Has been done.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Something, like you said, I agree with you completely, Anthony. Something has to be done about this,
Yeah.
And I don't know how you defend against something like that, but as far as, it's worse than Pearl Harbor. It really is.
Yes, yeah, it is. No doubt. Absolutely.
Those guys were military, and unfortunately I feel sad for them, and my heart goes out to their family. They signed up for it. These innocent people on this plane, and in the World Trade Center, they didn't even sign up for any of this. They were casualties of war.
They're showing us something on CNN right now from FlightExplorer.com, the path that the plane took when it takes the sharp left turn to head toward New York City.
Yeah, they have United Airlines 175 leaving Boston and American Airlines 11 leaving Boston, and how they took their individual routes to the World Trade Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of them, it was going to L.A., so it was just doing its western course, turned sharp south, and hit the World Trade Center.
Yeah,
the other one went over Jersey, circled back in like a fish hook, and came in from the other side.
Yeah, here it comes again.
The thing that's tough is that, they probably, if they hijacked the plane initially right after it was out of Boston, again, it's all speculation, but if they did it right, let's say they got up to altitude, boom, they hijacked the plane, they tell these guys, take me to New York City. Well, the pilot's not going to necessarily say, no, I'm not going to take you to New York City. I mean, they would probably comply with it and do that. But then the point comes where there's going to be a point, like everybody's saying, none of us would deliberately fly a plane into a building.
Right.
I mean, if they put a gun in my head, I'd say, go ahead and shoot me because I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you're better off just ditching it into the water or something and seeing what happens there at the last minute.
The point is, even if they got it pointed in the general direction, then they, realize what these guys are going to do, and if they, took out the pilots, which they most likely did, at that point, they have to have some kind of knowledge of how the systems work to get the plane to do what it did,
Well, hopefully, there's some clues on the black boxes and the ground communication to who these people were.
Yeah, I think that will give them a tremendous amount of information, because even if they, obviously these guys who did it, these people who did it, they're not going to talk to controllers anymore. They're just going to do what they want to do, head to New York City.
Right.
The thing is, there's still the cockpit recorder. Even though you don't have a microphone on, the cockpit's picking up all the talk in there. It can pick up, as loud as it is in a cockpit, it can pick up a tremendous amount of background noise. You can literally go up there and you could, you pop a can of soda in the background and it'll hear it. It'll hear that happen, and they can filter it out, and hey, they might not know initially, well, what is that? But they can filter it out and figure out, hey, this is, the guy popped a gun open or did something, and so they'll definitely get a lot of information out of that. But I mean, I just wish you could have, like you said earlier, get some intelligence to stop it, because it's just, unfortunately, the security, I wouldn't say it's as bad as people make it out to be. It does have loopholes like any security system would.
Yeah, but I think they got to look in other places.
They do. I mean, you could become like El Al, the Israeli airline. The guys have Uzis when they check you in.
Hey, you know something? I got no problem with the right people having weapons.
No, I don't either. I mean, I don't have a problem with that either. But it's, Opie brought up a good point earlier. He said, when it comes down to it, we're human beings. What's going to happen is if you put all these steps in, it takes 2 hours to check in at an airport.
No one would put up with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
initially, of course.
10 years, like people sit there, I see it every day. People sit there and say, oh, the airlines, look at the news. Every night they're bashing the airlines. Oh, delays, oh, weather, oh, this and that. The people want change in the airlines. When you try to make change, they fight you the whole way,
Convenience and speed,
I think would work, but people are going to say, 2 hours, we're just down to a half hour or whatever,
when I came back from Athens, I got all this to go with. We were in a really long line for customs, and people were losing their effing minds, and it only took maybe 20 minutes, and I was even annoyed, and they were able to get hundreds and hundreds of people through within 20 minutes, and people were still yelling and screaming. You could call up my girlfriend. There was a fist fight online because everyone was just irritated. They just had a really long flight, and they just wanted to get through customs and get home. And they could care less who's in front of them trying to get into the country. What their intentions were. All they wanted was to get through that customs line as fast as possible. And people were stomping on the floor, getting frustrated because one of the custom agents was taking a little more time on the person in front of them. That's what we do as human beings.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've seen people get mad because we're out of soda. And they throw a hissy fit. You almost have to threaten them with the police and security when you land at the next airport.
Hey, what kind of plane you fly?
Well, I used to fly turboprops and moved up through a lot of different things. Right now I fly a larger turboprop, and that'll kind of narrow down who I fly for if I tell you that, if anyone knows who's listening. But I don't fly anything huge. It holds about 30
I was
people,
wondering if you flew one of those that were used today.
No, nothing like that. But I've been in simulators like that, and I have friends that fly stuff like that, and I've been there before, and I ride in the cockpits all the time. I know what it's like, and I know that they're all the same. A plane's a plane is a plane. They get more complicated as they get bigger, but the basics are the same. You have the same 6 instruments in every plane, whether it be a Cessna all the way up to a 747. A plane is a plane. If you can fly one, you can fundamentally fly them all with some additional training. I don't mean to, downplay what an airline pilot does. It takes thousands of hours and years of training to get the proficiency they get.
Well, they were trained in some way, but
right, exactly.
Hopefully we'll find out info and whatnot. Hey, thanks a lot, man.
Okay, guys, take it easy.
All right, John, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Cool.
Damn.
Who's on 11?
Wait, 1 second, too. We also have a couple lines on that are free on the national, 866-277-4.
Okay, cool.
And go to Danny here. Danny.
Hello, how you doing, guys?
Hey, where are you calling from, Danny?
Queens, New York.
Right on.
All right, listen, guys, can we get serious for one moment here?
Like we haven't been?
Yeah, but I don't know how to say it, but anyway,
This is the way I see it. I mean, don't you guys think that it's sort of United States' fault for these idiots who did this to us? Guys, listen to me. I'm sorry, I'm not defending anything that they've done. First of all, I just want to say that my heart goes out to all those victims.
What are you trying to say? It's the United States' fault for
no. Okay.
Get there.
All right, hold on a second. I'm getting there. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying United States messes around with so many countries. Yes, we're number one. New York City. Yes. Hold on a sec. Yes, New York City is number one. Yes, we're the number one nation and everything. Yeah. We're the best, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, everyone hates us, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Therefore, people want to do harm to us. Now, what if we were number one and we weren't getting involved in so many...
I don't think you'd get an argument from many people that I would love if we could just mind our own goddamn business and be the country we are without having to police the world. For some reason,
yes, we are policing the world.
Yeah, for some reason that fell in our lap. Right. For some reason that fell in our lap, and people look to the United States for leadership and guidance and whatnot. But as far as the Middle East goes, which is just a hotbed of trouble, I don't think we should have anything to do with it. Could we support Israel? Yeah, fine. It doesn't mean we back everything they do or every opinion they have.
I understand.
And want to duke out with Palestinians or land. You know, we just look at the World Trade Center is no more because of a land argument that's been going on for some time. I don't think we want to be part of that. I don't think you'll get an argument. But as far as it being our fault because we're in that position,
no. Okay,
I'm not gonna listen to that.
Hang on a second. Okay, I don't mean it as our fault towards that, but I think that we have. Why didn't this happen to another country? Why is it that the United States always gets?
It happens in other countries.
It happens all over the world.
It happens all over. We've been lucky, and because of...
Don't you think that because we're New York City and because we're the United States, we shouldn't be getting involved with all these... You know, we're being the freaking police over here for the entire world. Is that right? Listen, let me just tell you something, okay? I don't know how you guys feel about this, but being drafted is not a cool thing. To know that your butt is going to go to a war... Okay, let's get down serious over here, all right? You know, everybody's talking about, oh yeah, let's go attack. But think, sit down and think. If you get called, if that phone rings, and you know it's the president, let's say, right? And he tells you, oh, hello there, you know, pick up your bag.
All right, Danny, let's move on.
Hey, thank you, man.
Danny from
he's like going nowhere.
Danny from Queens, thank you.
Here's a good one on DC.
I was falling asleep as he was talking. I'm sorry.
You guys, we're trying to get through a lot of phone calls today, and we'll accept all opinions and we'll debate you a little bit, but you got to get right to your point, all right?
Yeah.
Please. Who's next?
Ali from DC.
Ali?
Hey.
What's
Ali.
up?
Maybe it's Ali.
Hey, Ali, yeah.
Ali, what's up?
Nothing much. I'm just down here. I'm right in Georgetown, and they've got F-16s flying all over and stuff.
Yeah, it's the only planes you'll see in the sky now are military.
Yeah, I know. I was looking up. I was like, "What's that?" You know?
How insane is that? That's something you don't see every day.
Did you ever
think in the Georgetown area?
It's like in the '60s when the military riots and stuff. You know.
If you asked any American yesterday, do you ever think we get to a point where, because of events, no planes would be in the skies and F-16s and various other fighter aircraft would be over Washington and New York defending its airspace?
Crazy.
You'd be like, yeah, well, what movie are you watching?
Yeah.
Right.
And all of a sudden now it's reality.
This morning.
What's the feel of Georgetown right now?
Well, you know, everybody's just kind of unbelievable still for us because we're just down here and we keep seeing TV and stuff. You know, it's hard to believe that really happened.
Are people walking around like zombies in that area?
Gone. Yeah, I mean,
because that's what we got up here in New York. People are just in shock. They don't know where to walk.
You know what? You bring up a good point. When I was driving here from Brooklyn out to Long Island, where we're broadcasting from today, a lot of traffic, a lot of people. You look into the car and you just saw their faces. They weren't as animated. Everyone just looking straight ahead. Very solemn. And, you know me, I'm a maniac, and I don't like people in my way. I don't like being effed with on the road. And there were a couple of instances where I would have blown the horn and just flipped the bird. All of a sudden, it wasn't that important. You know, I was driving, and everybody was letting other people in and just kind of, you didn't want to be bothered. It wasn't that important.
It's funny you say that, though, because we've been talking about, humans not having patience with the, airport security and all that.
Yeah.
Here on Long Island, they closed down the Long Island Expressway Expressway.
Westbound, yeah.
Which is just insane if you live in this area. It's just, you can't even function on Long Island without that road. When it's open, it sucks, and people are in traffic for days, right?
Yeah.
So they have cops on all the entrance ramps and the exit ramps, and as I'm heading to the studio on Long Island, I see people arguing with the cops. Like, the expressway is closed, and they're arguing like, no, I have to go that way. And it's like, no, there's something a little more important than you today, and, help us out. Help us out and understand what's going on and try to figure out how to go home on the back road.
Right.
But they're yelling and screaming at the cops. It's like...
You guys, I'm just in high school. I'm just a high school student, and the only people who aren't acting all serious is just high school students. They don't seem to understand how serious it is. They're all running around laughing and stuff.
Yeah, they're goofing and stuff. Wacky kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, Ollie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's next?
All right. We'll go to John in New York.
All right.
John.
Hello.
Hey, John.
What's up?
Hey, Muhammad Open Anthony?
Yeah.
All right, how you doing, guys? Listen, Anthony, I don't really agree with your views on terrorism, blaming on the last 8 years administration.
No, I don't want you to get me wrong. Now, I didn't say I'm blaming this on the last 8 years. I'm saying the last 8 years of prosperity, we've dropped the ball. We didn't put our priorities in our intelligence where we should have. I didn't blame the last administration on this. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat either. I don't want to get people thinking I'm getting on the soapbox for the Republican Party. I'm not.
I'm not even
just
saying that you did that. I just have a different idea. What I was watching shows on terrorism, what I feel about is that terrorism is like fighting guerrilla warfare. These guys get lucky. It's like trying to fight Vietnam. You're not going to win because they attack in the night.
You got a good point. Yeah, with enough being thrown at you, you're going to get hit by one and get lucky. This is more than luck, though. This is something we should have known about. And that's what I'm saying. Our intelligence isn't what it used to be. We should have seen this coming in some way, shape, or form, where we could have put some kind of alert out. We've had terrorist alerts before.
Yeah,
there's something this big we should have picked up on.
Yeah, you get the stories, this guy was stopped at the Canadian border, and he was heading toward New York City.
Or you get wind of somebody, all of a sudden they're training at this camp, and for some reason they're training, they need aircraft manuals. There's always some little loose end that gets picked up by our intelligence, but we've dropped the ball.
John, this should scare you and everyone listening to us today. This was well planned, and in my opinion, they didn't have a clue. They didn't have a clue this was happening today.
We talked fine. We were up on the JFK air rail in Kennedy Airport. One of the guys spots that the Trade Center's on fire, so we start to watch. The next thing we see that giant mushroom cloud, orange mushroom cloud. We think maybe the jet fuel blew up when we heard it was a airplane. We never thought it would be another one. The problem is we have no idea what we're up against with these guys. We're not used to dealing with people that are willing to take their lives over bizarre, promises that they're going to have 70 virgins when they meet Allah.
Well, you know something? When the Soviet Union crumbled, and we were spending a lot of money and a lot of time on intelligence against the Soviet Union, we knew. I mean, do you remember watching the news going, it's now that the Cold War's over, we have to put our resources elsewhere into terrorism.
Right.
And we never really did that.
I know.
Everyone knew from years ago, but we never did it.
As we get comfortable, these guys here, they hide under the guise of being, what it is? We don't have a particular country to attack. We should attack somebody. If these people live in that country, we should just finish them.
See, that's what it is. You got something like a Pearl Harbor. It's Japan. You know it. We went after Japan. That's how it worked.
Right.
Now, something like this, it's terrorists. It's very vague. You don't know. But you know something? We have ideas of who harbors these people, who finances it, who backs them. Right. And those are the people that maybe we've held back on in the past because of politics. Because if we bomb them, this country's going to be mad.
Well,
or this country, we have a trade agreement with this country.
Right.
Now it's time to just go in and clean up these loose ends and F the politics behind
Absolutely. I agree. If we know that who's responsible for this, we give the country where they live 1 week to give them up. If they don't give them up, we bomb them.
Hey, you know something? That might sound silly, but a lot of these countries say, I don't know who they are. All right, you don't know. We're gonna do something. We want these people, and you see how fast we start getting some of these people.
Anything but violence. There becomes a time you have to sit a plate and be the way they are. Have to fight back with violence. There's nothing we can do here. We can't be diplomatic anymore. We have to demand these people be given up, or we go and we wreck the whole place.
I don't care how many countries we piss off by doing this. They're going to have to live with it because...
They don't have to go. I work in this city. This is where we live.
My wife, I have 2 kids, we're horrified. I got the windows closed because I'm afraid of anthrax blowing around over here. That guy's really right about the asbestos. That stuff gets airborne, it'll take months for it to come back down. Once there's people walking into their house covered in all sorts of powder. People don't realize what we're up against here. And the horrifying thing is this had to be perpetrated by people living in our own country. You know, and people have to be aware.
I don't know about that, living in our own country.
Well, they're established. These communities are established. This is very, very deep warfare. These people are way, way, way undercover.
Oh, yeah. No, I know that. Yeah. But obviously they're here on a mission from another country.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not like a Oklahoma City bombing where it's some...
Yeah, it's just a very... You know,
oh,
I
my
was
God.
working at
Look
that
at
trade
that.
center.
A Murray Street sign and an airplane engine. A piece of a turbine from an engine in the street.
Well, I was there the last time. We responded to that last explosion at the Trade Center. And just like you said, I agree with you on the point. I walked in there. I saw a few floors exploded out of the parking garage. But afterwards, I was laughing. I said, these guys couldn't even take us down. You know, we're the most powerful country. Not only one, I think once the first airplane hit the first thing, everybody just must have said, oh, wow, that's unbelievable. They'll never have the, you know, guts to go crash another one into it. Once they flew after the Pentagon, this is psychotic. They must realize once and for all that this is backed by some form of government. Nobody could have this well of a, this big of a plan instituted this well unless they were letting people fly these planes in that country.
Right, a little practice test flight. You need a base of operations.
They let them fly the planes around the country so they're prepared for this.
Exactly.
You see these kids jumping for joy, handing out candy.
I know.
And the Palestinians, how happy they are that we have people stuck under tons.
I could only hope we see crying women over their dead children in another country that we bomb, because
I'm
I don't. And you could say it's like, oh God, it makes us just as bad as them. Good. I don't care at this point.
It's gotten to that point. You got to do something,
and it's got to stop. We gotta respond to this in a way that will clean it up and take away their resources and power to do this to us.
Country 1 week. Tell Yasser Arafat you got a week to hand these guys over. If you don't, then you're just going to suffer the consequences. No ground war. Don't send any of us over there where we're going to wind up getting killed like Vietnam. Just light the place up like Desert Storm.
All right, John. Thank you.
Take it easy, guys.
Goddamn, 2 countries arguing over a piece of crap land, and we got to get dragged into it. Unbelievable.
Ben, who do we have?
Let's go to Mike in New Jersey. Mike.
Hello.
Hey, Mike. What's up?
Yeah, nothing much, man. It's a pretty messed up situation down
Hell
here.
yeah. We weren't expecting to do this type of show today.
Yeah, I can barely hear you guys.
How's that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's your phone or it's the lines or something.
What do you got? We're in like 2 different studios. Whatever. What do you got, Mike?
Well, I'm just saying, Mike. That's not my real name, in case anybody is listening. That I don't want to hear me. But we've got a pretty messed up situation here at the base because we don't have enough people to carry out our job.
The base?
At the base that I'm stationed at.
He's at a base in Jersey.
Oh, okay. What are you, reserve?
No, active duty.
Really?
So why aren't you doing something?
Well, we are. We're on standby.
Okay, all right.
Because I think if you're on standby, you can't just make phone calls.
That's what I mean. It sounds a little weird.
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye.
It's a little weird. I know my brother was in the Army, and during the whole Iran hostage crisis. And they would put him on these big C-130 planes and just sit him on the runway. That's being on alert. He's not calling, hey man, guess what?
Right. A new vending machine. I'd call you guys.
Yeah, this is great. You know, the orders are coming in. We're going to be shipping out at 0600 and yeah.
All right. Should we take a break? Do we have anyone on hold that we need to get to, Ben? Rick?
There's a guy in line 2 that's not bad, and there's a guy here. Let's go to him here.
Yeah, we can throw him on.
All right.
All right. Dennis in New York. Dennis.
You.
Hey, Dennis.
What's up, man?
Guys, first up, I'm numb. I'm numb. I mean, everybody says you don't understand the gravity of it until you see it, and it's just, I just went over the 59th Street Bridge not too long ago, and just, you don't see the towers anymore. It's shocking.
Yeah, when you see something that huge and then it's just gone and it was blown up, it's amazing.
I was on, and this is no BS, I would not even joke about this. I do communications, and I was on 5th Avenue walking up, and I saw and heard the first plane go over 5th Avenue, and they were tree-topping it. They were just barely over all the buildings, just going straight down Midtown. And the whole time we were just talking about it the whole way up, like, how is that plane going?
Yeah, how is that legal? Right, yeah.
We get up to the floor where we were doing work, and everybody's just, did you hear? Like, what are you talking about?
a plane just ran into the World Trade, and I just saw it. It just went by. I was just stunned.
Man, wow.
I'm free. I've been sick to my stomach all day. I'm on Queens Boulevard now, and I'm seeing like all the smoke still billowing from the area.
Well, there's another building on fire down there, and then there's all those cars and everything.
World Trade. I know people in 7 World Trade, and I'm just hoping they got out in time. I'm shaking. I can't believe it.
Dennis, you in a car right now?
Yeah.
I'm looking now at the news. There's a building that I guess was near World Trade Center with a corner of it ripped off. It looks like a prop building from a Godzilla or something. Like his tail swiped
Godzilla
it.
98. It really is just absolutely disturbing. And Anthony, to back you up with the sheer amount of data that's lost from those buildings.
Yeah.
Like I said, I do communications, and you know how large those floors are. Picture multiple entire floors filled, rows and rows of servers.
Computer systems,
Good.
Server storage. There's a bunch of just computer storage devices on all those floors where people just upload their stuff and keep it.
Exactly, and just like what you said, all the companies have all their main data there. World banks have their data there.
Now, they might be backed up somewhere, but just getting that in place is going to be unbelievably difficult, I think.
Exactly. It's absolutely staggering.
They're saying Wall Street is probably going to remain closed for the rest of the week.
Yeah, that's where I was. I was at a stock place. I won't say the name, but they were saying the exact same thing over their loudspeakers, that it's not likely that the exchange will open at all this week.
That's downtown Manhattan.
Hey, Dennis, what's going on the roadways right now?
Oh, it's a mess. It's an absolute horror show.
Yeah.
Just everybody, I'm on E right now. Everybody, if you pass the gas station, get some cab because you're in for the long haul. I live out. Actually, I'll be about 2 blocks away from where you guys are now. That's where I'm trying to get to.
Good luck, man.
Gonna try.
All right, Dennis. Thank you.
It's so strange to watch the news and see people being taken to the hospital in pickup trucks and the back of SUVs. You know, you'd like to think no matter what emergency happens that there's enough ambulance and professional equipment that you're going to be put on the gurney and wheeled into an ambulance and the lights go on. But you're seeing people being wheeled on office chairs and being thrown into pickup trucks and SUVs. Like, it's like watching something from another country because you couldn't imagine it ever happening here.
It just sickens me when they show that shot where you're used to seeing the
World Trade Center towers.
And there's nothing. All right.
And when that smoke clears, it's going to be even stranger to see because there's sometimes you look and you see the plumes of smoke and you could imagine them still being there, you know?
You're thinking, okay, it's behind the smoke, right.
But when that smoke clears and people see the damage and the death and destruction of this, unbelievable.
All right. Ben, who do we have?
Let's go to Mike in New York. Mikey.
What's up, Mikey?
What's going on, O&A? This is Mike. I'm down in Philly. Yeah, you guys rock. I love listening to you. I have to say, I love being an American.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that always in our darkest hour is also our finest hour. And you guys are doing a great broadcast today because it's exactly what I wanted to hear. I have been riveted all afternoon. I am representing the other 99% of your audience right now that's not in New York, that's not anywhere other than in front of their television or in front of their radio. And it's
you know something? We thought about, like, I especially thought about not going on the air today. I really didn't want to.
I'm so glad that you did. You have no idea. Down here in Philly, they literally had the news station on. And, like, at 3 o'clock, it was like somebody plugged you guys in. And it was like you literally heard the needle drag across the record.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I hope we're relaying the feelings of everyone in this area because we all, and I mean everyone listening to us in the New York area, knows someone that works in that area that this happened. And most of the people listening to us right now, they still don't know if their friends or family are okay. They're scrambling and panicking and making hundreds of phone calls trying to figure it out. It took us 3 or 4 hours for my personal for the people I know.
Hold on, this just in: 47-story building 7 at World Trade Center collapsed. Just collapsed.
What?
Yeah,
it's
that's what I just saw.
Yeah, number 7, according to 1010 Wins, that was
I just
on fire
saw it.
now it's collapsed.
Just saw it on the news.
It's
there
on-
it goes.
If you're watching ABC, the ABC affiliate here in New York.
No, we got it on
There it
Channel
goes.
2.
Oh, my God.
Holy S. They got footage of another building collapsing. It's like those specials where they show the buildings imploding.
I just watched it live.
How many stories was that, you think? 20, 25 stories, maybe?
Jesus Christ.
So Mike, you're listening in Philly. So
Yeah, man.
You know, it's we all know someone that
It's
is
unbelievable.
directly affected by this.
I feel frightened in my own home right now. I mean, like, you have no idea. It's like, I'm trying to think of what I can do first.
47-story building just went down.
That was 47 stories high.
47-story, huge
I was
complex.
just there. I've got pictures of my fat butt standing in front of the Trade Center. I was
collapsed.
just there.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike. Did we lose Mike?
You know,
I faded Mike
he's
down.
gone. He's
and another huge plume of smoke coming off of Manhattan from that building 7, 47 stories collapsing. Just when the smoke was almost diffusing from the World Trade Center, now it's just again clouds of smoke going through the buildings.
That was an amazing piece of video on Channel 2. We saw it.
You know, we were saying, now look, that's a big part of the skyline also.
Holy S.
That huge building, 47 stories tall and just as wide. That's a huge building.
47-story building 7 at World Trade Center complex collapses.
Building 7.
You would
Gone.
assume that all the people were out of that one.
I would hope so. You would hope no one's in any of these buildings, but you just never know. Wow. Unbelievable.
I'm getting sicker.
Like I said earlier, I wasn't sure if I even wanted to go on the air because it's not the show that we do. We go in there and goof off every day and stuff.
We don't like being serious.
I don't want to. I don't like being serious. I don't like it. I don't want to come off appearing self-serving. Some of the newscasters, you could tell they're eyeballing that award that they might get.
Yeah, they're all looking for that
overly dramatic
piece of info or piece of video that no one else has.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know. I just thought it was. I just think it's kind of nice for people to call up and tell us what they're feeling and what they saw. A lot of the New York listeners, like Hope said, know people down there or were down there and have to deal with whether it's the traffic or debris falling.
We've had a lot of eyewitness reports of people that were in the building today when it happened and were able to get out. Who do we go to next, Ben?
We got, just to give you some more news, there's some news coming in New York. Limited eastbound service continues from Flatbush Avenue to the Atlantic Terminal in Brooklyn. And no westbound service from Jamaica to Penn Station, Flatbush Ave.
Hell no.
And Hunters Point. Just some breaking stuff here in New York.
And for anybody listening in D.C., the D.C. area definitely needs blood. You're being asked to call if you're an eligible blood donor.
Everyone needs blood.
1-800-GIVE-LIFE. That's 1-800-448-3543. And some more information coming in from the roadways. All the bridges and tunnel facilities are open primarily only to outbound traffic.
Right.
That's the Verrazano, Throgs Neck, Whitestone, Marine
I think
Parkway.
we know that. We know all this information by now, Rick, but thank you.
Just delivering it as they hand it to me.
I don't think anyone's going, I think I'm going to go catch a show tonight. I think I'm going to go to Broadway. And is the tunnel opened?
Let's go Yankees.
Well, also...
There was a rain out yesterday, right?
The expressway is now open.
All right, good. All right, anybody else on the line? Should we take a break? I don't know what to do.
Let's take a quick break.
You want to do that?
Yeah, take a quick break.
All right.
Go to our news station here in New York, and you guys take a quick break.
But we'll be right back, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, we'd like to hear from some of our regulars. Louis Black really helped us out today with his feelings. Pete Radovich from CBS Sports was unbelievable. So anyone else that wants to help us out, please.
Is Old Dirty using the cloud cover to cut off the tops of parking meters today?
Actually, he's on the line. He's ready to go after the break.
Is he? Okay, we'll talk to Old Dirty.
He's shook up. So
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, you know what?
Who isn't?
Now, all kidding aside, if Old Dirty is going to make any type of jokes or go, yo, B,
no, you know something? I don't think he's going to.
All right. If he even starts that, you guys just hang up on him because it's not the day for this crap.
All right.
We'll be back in a few.
1010 Wins, our sister station here in New York.
Followed after that, and
People are still walking off
And?
Yeah, we're back.
the Manhattan Bridge. They're walking over.
I think we're back on the air, Anthony. I'm not
You're
even
back.
sure.
They are.
All right,
Yeah,
it's
I
the
get
Opie
that.
and Anthony show. Very unusual circumstances. We don't have to tell you guys, but Anthony and I are on Long Island. We couldn't even get into the city for the show today, so we're in the studios of WLIR. If that doesn't tell you how serious this is today, because we're not even owned by the same company, and radio stations and radio people are just vicious toward each other.
See, we're all coming together.
We're coming together. Actually, they've been our friends, no matter, who owns them, and they've helped us out in the past. You know how weird this is? Sean Hannity is broadcasting from here as well.
Yeah, I met him before our show today.
Yeah.
He's doing his show from here because he can't get into the city either.
Which is it's just beyond bizarre today. But, here we are in the Party 105.3 studio.
What's this normally play? Dance music? Yeah? Look, they got the turntables and everything. Wow.
Can you scratch on these? No?
Scratch your ass.
All right. Well, we'll go back, obviously, but we're here, and Ben and Rick were able to make it. Well, Ben lives in Manhattan, and Rick went in early, so they're at the station helping us out with the phone calls and stuff. So who do we go to next there, guys?
We got Jay Moore on the hotline. Jay Moore.
Hi, guys.
Jay, what's up, man?
I'm shook up, man.
Can you even believe this?
These filthy animals.
Yeah.
My wife, by the way, is in my apartment, and her and Frosty went out to in time to watch the second plane hit the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
That's something nice for your wife to see when she's visiting New York, who was supposed to fly back to L.A. today.
You're right.
And you know what? If any government official is listening, if Uncle Sam genuinely needs me, I'm 31 years old with bunions. Hey, man, I'm in.
At least you're young enough there, Jay.
31, but I can shoot straight, baby.
I
and
know.
if they start passing out, so
We
I
saw
already
the
got my
movie
hollow
Mafia.
tips. If they start passing out candy on my street, it's going to be a different party.
That's right.
Unbelievable, man.
Unfreaking believable. And you know what? There's a slight there's no positive to something this horrific.
No.
But just the fact that it's so clear-cut, black and white, good versus evil, that we have unilateral support across the globe. And if any country wants to hem and haw, like Jordan, Afghanistan, and go, well, we think he's here, oh, you know what? Tell us where he is, or tomorrow, there's no Afghanistan tomorrow.
Yeah, I think
and tomorrow,
Afghanistan...
Palestine is going to be called Israel.
You know what, Jay? I don't think Afghanistan could do anything to keep from being bombed. I think Afghanistan is going to be a primary target. The other countries have to just stay out of this, like Saudi Arabia. All those people that we set up missile batteries against Iraq for have to let us do what we have to do now, which is go in there and plain and simple get some good old-fashioned American revenge and make it impossible for these people again.
You know what? I really feel more proud. I was just talking, me and my neighbor sitting around watching all the news footage, and I said to him, you know what? I'm more proud to be an American today than any other day of my life.
Well, I'll be a lot more proud when we just wreak havoc on some of the people that are responsible for this.
I'm just saying, how many countries on this globe could have 60,000 national reserves in Jersey waiting to help?
Yeah.
None. Zero. One. The United States.
We're
scumbags.
We're freaking out because the way they did this is just it's so underhanded and using our own aircraft against us like that.
So Palestinian.
Yeah.
You know why Palestine has a seat in the United Nations? Because they did so much killing, like the 72 Olympic massacre, that every other country said, hey, you know what? We'll give you the seat. Stop murdering people.
You know why they've prospered for as long as they have? It's politics. No one's really turned around and told the other countries that do support them, F off. We have to do this. But I think this time, America is going to turn around and say, I don't care if this screws up our relationship with this country or that country. This happened to us. We will do this. Period. And hopefully, that good comes out of this.
I think every American feels deeply disturbed.
It's pissed off.
Personally afraid and helpless, which is not like a Vietnam or an embassy bombing all the way in Africa or on another continent. The World Trade Center is gone. I'm looking at my living room floor right now, and they're the same. It's the same. It's flat. It's gone.
Yep. How many times you flown out of Boston to L.A.?
I've been on that flight 3 times this year.
How scary is that, man?
It's scary that my wife was supposed to fly back today, and I'd be down in a Palestinian section just randomly beating people with a bat right now.
It's frightening, man.
How about the Hamas, the religious lunatic brains, saying, we have nothing to do with it. We blame U.S. policy. Well, hey, we did it.
Well, you know something? They're going to get another dose of U.S. policy that I think is going to be a little worse than the policy we've had with Israel and Palestine.
And don't think Uncle Colin, don't think his ass isn't rubbed the wrong way when they took out the Pentagon. Uncle Colin, how good does that little soft shoe he did with the Chinese look and the treaty Clinton signed with the North Koreans who have nuclear capacity? It all looks good for us right now. And I'm telling you, any country on the fence, well, you know what? You better hand them over because we're just going to call Israel tomorrow also.
Yep, there you go.
And we're going to paint big Jewish stars on everyone's forehead. We live in a country where no one can come in your house, rape your wife and sister, and beat you with a rifle and eat your food and leave, and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't know about you, but I didn't pass any tanks on my way to Yankee Stadium this year.
Right.
I didn't pass any tanks on my way to do my movie acting or whatever it was. You guys go in and do your job. You're syndicated. Any city you're in, Cleveland, no matter where it is, no one has ever seen anyone throwing rocks at tanks. You see somebody arguing with a cop, you run the other way.
Right.
And they're jealous. These dirty, filthy animals are jealous because they live underground. They eat camel crap for a living, and they just can't stand that the quality of life here is so unbelievably fantastic that the only way to cut us is to take out. We're talking Vietnam casualties, guys. There's 50,000 people in that building. Granted, they had an hour and a half to get out of there.
I hope
Vietnam was 10
out.
years in the jungle.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they say 150,000 people visit those towers every day.
It's going to
50,000 work there.
It's going to be. I'll say it's going to be a lot worse than the numbers were at Pearl Harbor because that was 2,000, 3,000 people, and this all civilians and whatnot. I mean, it's in a whole new category. Welcome to the new millennium because this is what we're going to have to deal with, and if we don't nip it in the bud now and make it impossible for these guys to do this again by wiping out the countries that sponsor this and support it, then we're screwed. I don't back and watch the president and all these other politicians parade in front of the TV. Yeah, saying we will find and bring them to justice. No, I don't want to hear that.
Assassination.
I don't want to hear that. Do you know the debacle with the Pan Am flight that went down in Lockerbie, and they have the people that did it, and the bull crap trying to get those people to trial because this country wouldn't give them to this country. You know something? I don't even want to see anything like that. I want quick retribution, tenfold on what they gave. I want their little hovels. How many little dirt hovels equal the buildings that they took out today?
How many
you
dirt
can't
hovels,
even count.
How many dirt hovels do equal the building they took out today? I think you got about 11 countries worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Jay, did you see the footage of the 47-story building falling just recently?
That just went down about 10, 15 minutes ago.
Building?
It was the 47-story Building 7.
Building 7.
Oh, that was
the World Trade Center
7.
complex. Yeah, it just went down.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Jay.
These guys, I've been praying all day, and I was on my knees, and I know it sounds corny coming from me. You guys are used to me, like, cracking jokes, but I wouldn't joke about this. But I'm just praying, like, I got so much. I'm so lucky. I ask God, take a piece of my heart and just spread it around to the families. Because if I have half the heart I have, I'm still going to be the happiest guy because I'm retarded. Just please, somehow, let's get this going.
The next few days are going to be rough for a lot of people, man.
Not for the United States, baby. We have 2 Ticonderoga aircraft carriers. We're has them. Each one carries 92 fighter planes on it. That's 184 planes over your city. It's going to look like night.
Yeah, New York City buzzing with fighter aircraft. It's pretty incredible. But, unfortunately, they weren't up there when those guys were flying towards the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. So, all right, Jake.
They canceled all the baseball games. That's how you really know we're going to war.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the telltale sign, man. World War II. They never cancel baseball games unless it's on.
As long as we don't have to watch the chicks play. Like they did World War II.
Oh, God.
We don't need a league of their own.
Guys, I'm so happy you're safe. Is everybody safe? Everyone's in the fold?
We don't, we can't say that. We don't know. I mean, people that is associated with this radio show, we don't know. We don't know. We're like everyone else, wondering, wow, who was in the World Trade Center today? Who didn't get away in time,
I'm looking around.
Who was on the ground looking up because we're all curious and we had to get as close as possible to the World Trade Center when the planes hit and the next thing you know, the building's falling on top of you. We don't know. I can't honestly say that everyone that I know is safe.
I hope homeless Ziggy is okay. Hope he wasn't down there.
That's his area.
Little Ziggy's area.
All right. On West 4th Street holding up TGI Fridays with his bare hands.
Yeah. Jay, we got to get to a few more people, but if you want to call back, we'd love to have you, all right?
God bless you guys, and I'm looking around my house at all these scripts and stuff, and it sure seems irrelevant at this point, man.
Yeah,
let's rally. Let's be Americans and be strong and kick ass.
All right, Jay.
Swiftly.
Cool.
All right, take care, guys. God bless you.
Thank you.
Later, Jay. J-Ma.
Rick, Ben, who do we have?
We got some more info here coming in. The NYPD has ordered evacuation of all the buildings south of Canal Street, so that's pretty much all of Lower Manhattan, so just get out.
Evacuate every building in Lower Manhattan.
That's South Canal. That's a big area.
Hell yeah.
So,
oh man,
you don't have to tell us. Is Old Dirty still standing by?
Yeah. He's still there. We're going to get to him next, but I got this bulletin out of 1010 Wins. They've got employee family survivor info set up by the companies at the World Trade Center. So if you know of anyone who may have worked at Morgan Stanley, they've got a number here. It's 888-883-4391. Again, for Morgan Stanley, it's 888-883-4391. And for another company, I'm going to screw up the pronunciation, Deloitte and Touche.
Deutsche Bank.
Okay.
Deutsche Bank.
Ah, there you go. Deutsche Bank.
There's a number here. It's a local 212 number. It looks like 243-7666. That's 243-7666.
All right.
Please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times.
You're such a...
I know.
All right, Old Dirty.
Yo.
What's up, Old Dirty?
Is it on?
Oh,
I'm
man.
waiting for the director to say, all right, guys, nice job, cut,
Yeah, I know.
It's like a Die Hard flick, dude. You saw the video?
We said that. It was like, is this Die Hard 5?
Dude, I was bugging. I was bugging.
And we're like, the acting's not even that good. When it's real, you realize that...
it's real people in real horror.
Yo, let me tell you something. The people who did this, let me tell you something. I think there's a new player in town. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's the same old faces, OD. It's the same old faces. It's Osama bin Laden.
We know who they are.
It's Yasser Arafat. It's all these people. Oh, my God. I just watched another angle on the World Trade Center being hit by the second plane.
When it collapsed, I don't know, my heart sank with it, man. I couldn't believe it, dude. I thought I was looking at, I thought I was looking at special effects, dude.
When you're watching it fall, it was the first time when it really happened and everyone's watching, there's something inside you that says, okay, put back up.
Yeah.
Put it back where it is.
It was so symbolic. You're like, hang in there, hang in there, hang in there.
Where are you going?
Everything's going to be okay. Just hang in there.
They'll get someone and pull it back up so it's there again. And then you just realize, no, it's gone. It's been wiped off the face of the earth. It is gone.
Dude, and these people are serious, dude. I mean, when you're dealing with people that are going to go to this extreme, I mean, the attack on the cold, man, they should have woke us up, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You know what
they should
I'm
have.
saying?
Yeah.
They blew up they blew up a $4 billion naval vessel that belongs to this country. Somebody should have stood up and said, hey, wait a minute, these guys are getting a little bit more, they're getting a little bit more cojones, man. We gotta start,
Old Dirty, let me say something there. You bring up a good point. When the Cole got bombed, one of our ships was in Yemen. It got bombed by a small boat full of explosives. And do you know the security on that boat? The guy had a pistol. The security personnel were not at guns. They know Yemen was a terrorist sponsoring nation.
They're in the Middle East for crying out loud.
But you know why there weren't people at the big guns on that ship? Because it was political. They didn't want to upset the people in that country because it was a port that helped us. And if we come in with our guns armed and ready to go, it might upset them. We got to get past the point of pissing people off or being afraid to piss these countries off. It's our own ass. It's American ass that's on the line here. And if we can't go into a terrorist sponsoring port with men at our guns, I don't know how we're ever going to combat this.
How do you even start a mission in a country that's not going to let you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How you going to protect your interests and their interests? Because, this country, man, you got to pat it on the back. Go out there playing cop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're too politically correct to help ourselves these days. We're too politically correct to come into these countries and go, it's a hostile country. We need to protect our ships.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't gonna walk nowhere and not have something on you if you know you're in jeopardy of falling into some type of, a catastrophe, dude. This is a catastrophe, dude.
Oh, I got another angle. This one looks like from Queens.
Wow.
And they just show. Oh my God!
Holy
Oh
ass.
Jesus Christ!
Channel 9 just showed an unbelievable shot.
It's a guy sitting below the World Trade Center, and the plane flew right over his head and right through the building. In slow motion. It was probably the closest shot I've seen yet.
Yeah, this camera can't be more than a block away, looking straight up. And
New footage. The plane disappeared into the side of the building.
Wow.
And it was crystal clear.
Wow.
So they planned it out to the hilt, dude. I mean,
they had some planning, that's for sure. And it's just so scary to think that we had no clue, and that they used, like Anthony said earlier, they used our own planes.
That's right.
And no one had a clue. If you think about it, there had to be hundreds of people to organize something like this.
The guy who probably gave the order was out in his crib, probably somewhere in some desert, talking about, it's 9 o'clock. Set it off.
He's in a cave.
And waited for CNN to pass the footage.
He's in a cave in Afghanistan, and his name is Osama bin Laden, and that guy should be taken out.
Dude, whoever it is, man, they got to catch the people who did this, man, because this is a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? This is a bit much.
Somebody put up a policy. Enacted a policy with this country that we don't assassinate people.
Yeah,
so that's why we never take out a leader. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something, Anthony.
But we got to take out this bin Laden guy.
Dude, when you're dealing with gangsters, you got to get gangster, dude. You got to go down. You got to get grimy.
There you go. Yeah.
You got to get grimy, dude. You can't play this little pussyfoot game. Let's talk it out.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk it out. But meanwhile, I got a hit team on your man.
We can't worry about offending other people.
Come on, man.
It's our ass.
Dude, you know how many people I knew in that building, dude? Man, I'm looking forward to like a month of waits, dude. I haven't heard from PR. PR waits down there. I haven't even heard from him, dude.
I can't watch this, man. There are people now, they're showing them hanging out the window of the World Trade Center. They're
begging for help.
And
what a feeling of helplessness, man.
Yeah.
You're so helpless. You're like, damn, bro, man, you can't do nothing?
Nothing.
Man, put a parachute on, my brother. Do it. Do something, man.
All right, OD.
Thank you, man.
We're gonna move on to some other calls. But thanks, dude.
The footage is just getting more and more graphic.
Well, more is coming in now
because everyone had cameras after the first plane hit.
I can't. All right. Believe that there's no more Twin Towers.
Guys, who do we have?
Want to go to West Coast Dave?
I was thinking Matt. Matt on line 1 on the National.
Where's he
He's
from?
out of Boston.
All right, Matt from Boston. Sure, why not? Matt. Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Man?
What's going on, man?
You tell us. What's the feel of Boston today?
Well, it was like a mass exodus, people leaving the city.
Yeah. From Boston, yeah.
Yeah, I've yet to see traffic at 11:30 heading out of Boston. It was, the worst rush hour traffic you could imagine. I mean, it was nuts. Everybody here is just still in awe, really, of what's going on, what's transpiring.
Yeah, a couple of those planes coming from Logan.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really, it's really just mind-boggling.
It's depressing. It's sad. It's just, it makes everybody pissed off.
It does. I mean, I myself, and I'm pretty much just waiting for the phone call myself.
Huh.
To be honest with you, speaking to some of my fellow Marines, it's just, we know what we have to do.
I hope there's a response. My God, I hope there's just a tremendous response from the United States military.
Well, we all know what we have to do, and everybody I've talked to, we got a job to do. That's what we've been trained to do, And when the time comes, we're prepared to do it.
Yep.
And but I just had, I've been listening to the radio, and I've been listening to people say that, it's unfair to blame the past 8 years for what has happened today.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, we are not the only ones to blame, but we are there to blame ourselves.
I got to interrupt you. The footage of the kids and the people beeping their horns and
various Middle Eastern countries celebrating
like they just won the NBA championship or something, or the Super Bowl. Are they insane?
Bastards, you keep celebrating. Go ahead. Buy your flags and wave them. Go ahead, you sons of bitches.
In the past 8 years, under the brilliant leadership of Bill Clinton, we've had our military depleted to an all-time low.
And we have no more military intelligence to let us know stuff like this is happening. He sat by while the Chinese were stealing our rocket secrets. He sat by when more espionage took place against the United States than in any other administration, even during the Cold War. He did. It was very nice. It was a lot of fun watching through the whole BJ episode with Monica. And sitting back, and the money was rolling in. I mean, the market was great. No real war to speak of, Little things flared up. Whenever we got bored, we'd bomb Saddam, and it was always fun and everything. But for 8 years, something had to have gone wrong that we didn't know about this, and it was during their watch.
It was the American people losing sight of what was really important.
We felt good about the way things were going, so you don't want to think about stuff like this happening, but
that's what it was, and it wasn't just over the past 4 years that he started depleting the military and all that stuff. I mean, this started as soon as he took office. Okay, the military, there were military spending cuts,
and I'm not blaming Clinton.
But we're the American citizens, the American voters who reelected him are the ones to blame, because what did we do in response to the military spending cuts? We reelected him to a second term.
Exactly. You know why? Because it all sounded great, all the money he wanted to pump into those social programs and stuff. When you don't have the society, the social programs aren't that good. When your buildings are being destroyed in front of your eyes, everyone forgets how important it is to be strong militarily and have the intelligence to make sure this doesn't happen.
Anthony, this just in. Mm-hmm. New York City will be closed tomorrow.
Yeah.
No joke. They put a graphic up on all the TV stations. New York City will be closed tomorrow.
New York City's closed.
Not your local school.
No.
The entire city will be closed tomorrow.
Jesus.
This is definitely, though, hopefully, I am hoping this has opened the eyes of, American citizens.
A wake-up call, man. This is quite a wake-up call.
At the very least.
And it's, something, this is really bad, and it's gonna be, another clip of the goddamn plane flying through the building. Unbelievable. It's gonna be really bad. It is a tremendous loss of life. But if it gets us aware that stuff like this can really happen, hopefully it'll save more lives. Hopefully we can go in there and remedy this problem.
All right.
Because next time, who knows, it could be biological crap. That's the stuff you don't see, and you don't have to be at ground zero for that to F you up. Believe me.
It's very true, because it's been proven, it's a proven fact that a terrorist could come into New York City with a hairspray-sized...
Hold on. Okay. Explosions in Kabul, Afghanistan. Breaking news. I sure the hell hope we're bombing Afghanistan as we speak. Wow. Oh, something's burning in Afghanistan.
Wow, look at that explosion.
Are you kidding? Because if we did it that fast, God bless America. I am looking at live footage from CNN of Afghanistan, Kabul, Afghanistan. There is a building on fire, a few explosions happening, and I just hope this is the first wave.
Looks like he learned something from his pop.
Right. Quick.
All right, Matt.
Yes.
I want to thank Matt for calling the show. Why don't we move on to somebody else, Ben and Rick?
Hey, guys, real quick on that Afghanistan stuff. It was unconfirmed reports that missiles were fired.
Well, I'm looking at confirmed fire coming out of a building, Rick. And, a nice big explosion there. Unfortunately, they have crappy little buildings there. I wish they had a huge landmark building. Blow up their mosques or something. Sons of bitches.
Okay. And who do we have next there? Ben, Rick?
What do you want to go to?
We want to go to, you want to go to Mark's brother?
Yeah, Mark's brother watched the Boston news conference here about what they said about Logan. Tim.
Hey, Tim, what's up, man? Tim from Boston.
Yeah, I rushed back into Boston to Hardline because I was trying to get a hold of my brother, and they had a Massport on, obviously right after the bombing, trying to explain what had happened, and he's trying to say that Logan is a safe airport, and we were following the correct procedures, but 2 planes drove into the side of a building today in New York City. So what I'm afraid of, and I've been talking to people, is how many different terrorist groups were on other planes that didn't take off today? Because they didn't just have 4 groups get on 4 planes and try to take off.
That's what I was saying earlier. How many more were there? Whether, something got...
They must have 50 groups on 50 planes and only 4 got off the ground. So we have all these guys still running around the streets of America.
Whole tracer rounds coming up. That's from the ground, though. That's shooting at aircraft.
Whoa.
We're watching live footage, CNN.
Yeah, much the same thing.
Yeah, Kabul, Afghanistan. There's some buildings on fire.
Well, here we go.
Is that a rocket?
Rocket. Was that a rocket in?
Yeah, it looked like a rocket exploded. There's tracer fire coming up from Kabul. There's some kind of bombing going on in Afghanistan
as we speak. What else, Tim?
Well, just the one thing. I was listening to that Marine. He's completely correct. I mean, we don't need to watch the Russians put, missiles in Cuba. We got to watch the guys who come into our own soil and steal our own planes and fly them into our own stuff.
We were starting to feel safe. We let our guard down. Russia's no longer a threat.
You stand on the East Coast and look at the Atlantic Ocean. There's a long way before you hit one of these hostile countries. Same thing with the Pacific Ocean. And we always assumed because of that we were safe. And we were from, there's no way a military aircraft loaded with bombs is going to fly across the Atlantic and penetrate our airspace and bomb us. The same thing with the Pacific. We take our own planes, stuff that we take for granted, and fly over our head, and you don't even think twice about it every day. That's the real danger. That's the danger of this millennium. We're not in the day anymore of the Cuban Missile Crisis and things being so clear cut. This is a new kind of warfare, and they hit us hard with this one.
The urban warfare is what it is.
Yeah, it's some kind of guerrilla warfare that we're not used to dealing with, and we gotta refocus and start kicking some ass and nipping this stuff in the bud.
All right, Tim, thank you.
Yeah, okay, guys. Thanks a lot.
You got it, bro.
See you later, bro.
Breaking news. I don't see enough burning in Afghanistan. There's not enough burning. I see one building on fire. I need more. I need more to make me feel better.
I do believe more is on the way.
I would hope so.
All right, guys, who do we have next?
We got Tacumbo.
Where's he from?
He's out of New York.
What's up, man? What's up, Owen?
Hey,
Yonkers.
what's up? You're from Yonkers?
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, it's amazing. This just left me totally shaken.
Yeah.
I was watching CNN, and I don't think you guys reported this yet, but Barbara Olson, that famous reporter, she was killed. She was on one of the hijacked planes.
Stop. Who?
No, her name is Barbara Olson. She was very famous. She was the blonde-haired reporter you always saw on CNN. And she got famous during that O.J. trial thing. And you always see her on CNN. She's always commentating on different things.
Well, I can't confirm this.
No, I'm telling you.
I know. I gotta say, I can't confirm any of these stories.
We gotta be really careful.
Right.
If her family's listening and you say that, I don't know.
I understand that, but no, I wouldn't make that up. That's on CNN. They broadcast it twice. And I'm not making that up. She did die, and she was married to Ted Olson, who was a Solicitor General. He's still alive. She was on the hijacked plane. She snuck into a bathroom and got on her cell phone.
Was she the one that got on the cell phone?
Yeah, she called her husband twice, asking him, what should I do? But this is the most unbelievable part of it.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
She says that the terrorists, the hijackers, herded everybody back. There was no evidence of guns. They had cardboard box cutters and knives. I'm dead. Go look at it on CNN. They will repeat it again. I just can't believe that that's all they had.
But she says on her particular plane, that she did not see any guns. They herded everybody back, including the pilots, which meant that the terrorists were able to navigate a 757 or whatever level plane it was. 767, whatever plane it was.
Well, again, I haven't heard any of this yet, but
no problem. Well, please arm me and then report that. I'm just totally amazed. I just want to say that, no, for real, O&A, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm just...
All right, man, we'll let you go, but thank you, bro.
No problem, man.
Cool. All right, man. We can't confirm any of that, obviously.
No.
But,
hey, guys, actually, to back up Tacumbo, we're getting a AP report just handed over that she was supposedly on this plane, and she is the wife of Solicitor General Theodore Olson, who argues President Bush's cases for the U.S. Supreme Court.
Wow.
So she is one of the missing from the plane.
Jesus.
All right, who else do we have on the line?
Norton's checking in. We got Norton on the line here.
I hope he's not plugging a gig.
Norton.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, boys. How you holding up?
What's up, man?
What's
How
up,
you
Jim?
doing?
Yeah, the guy was talking about the Olsen woman. She said that she called it, I think, from the one that went into the Pentagon, and she said that they had, like, box cutters and knives.
Box cutters and knives?
That
no guns.
No guns. She didn't mention guns. They may have had them, but that was what she saw, was box cutters and knives.
Wow.
She said they made everybody go to the back of the plane. I didn't hear what the rest of this guy's call was. I'm outside.
Yeah.
But I know I hope it's us that's bombing, and I hope we blow those back into the Stone Age.
Yeah, Afghanistan, Kabul is being, something's happening there because there's, big explosions and, I see at least one building on fire.
Yeah, it's a pretty big fire.
And there was some tracer rounds coming up from, the ground there. So you can only assume that something's flying over. I would think it would be, cruise missiles that we would send in now and not aircraft. So.
If it's one of these nations that actually did it, you know what the problem? They underestimate the vengeance we're going to want. They think that we're just going to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no idea how badly we are really going to want neutron bombs dropped on their countries.
As Japan said a few people, I feel we have awakened a sleeping tiger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do underestimate how we get when things like this happen to us. We might beat the living crap out of each other when we're at peace. We look to each other and races, fight, and everything like that. But when something like this happens, we just unite and have a single enemy. And you can only hope that we get some justice here.
We will. And when you hear about the Pentagon or the White House, I mean, those are military targets.
Mm-hmm.
But to go after the Trade Center, which, especially at a time when you know it's all civilian.
Symbolic target. They picked a military target and a civilian target and very visible targets. They probably could have done more damage crashing those planes elsewhere, maybe a nuclear power plant or something. But the symbolism that the World Trade Center is, that's what they were going for.
And the good news is, I mean, they have obviously no military capability. It's all, I mean, it was very effective what they did, but they have obviously no planes they can send over, no effective weapons.
So why send planes over? They got ours.
Well, yeah, good point.
Use.
We can do more damage in probably 20 minutes than they did all day.
Well, I hope so. I hope it does take out and hurt some of the people that were responsible for this. It's just great watching people get bombed when something like this happens to us. But I really do hope that we're helping out and solving a problem that we have here by doing it.
Oh, we will. I mean, I'm actually happy to have Bush in the White House right now, even though he wasn't like my favorite guy, but I definitely feel more comfortable with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like, he's definitely a cranky little man, so hopefully he will do something immediately, and I hope that this is what we're doing right now. I just hope we are bombing these savages while they sleep.
Well, it is dark over there.
I really hope we are killing everybody over there.
Boy, you got to give it to CNN with that new little device they have. That video phone technology they got. They're the only ones that are in Afghanistan with live footage of this bombing or whatever it is, some kind of action going on.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's just, I hope we're sending strikes over there. That would at least take a little bit of the sting out, just to know that we are attacking them immediately. You can hear Navy planes going over my house.
Who would have thought, there wouldn't be a civilian plane in the sky, but the planes you do hear, you look up over the United States of America, major cities, Washington, New York, and hear and see military aircraft, and that is all that's flying right now. 40,000 canceled flights. 40,000.
I think it's the first time in history the entire aviation system in our country has been shut down. That's what I heard. It was the first time that's ever happened in this country. And it was a good move by the FAA. I mean, hopefully, maybe they saved a couple of incidents. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows how many more we're getting ready to board planes and do it in other places.
Yeah, because there's got to be Midwest targets, and there had to be some type of West Coast targets, and hopefully some of that was averted, you know.
CNN is reporting unlikely the U.S. would move this quick.
What? Saying that it might not be a United States strike, but something in the way of a civil war in Afghanistan? Well, that's coinky-dink.
Yeah, well, whoever it is, even if they didn't do it, they kept Osama bin Laden there for a long time. And even if he didn't do it, I'm happy that we're killing them.
They know Osama bin Laden is given refuge in Afghanistan. So I think this is some kind of U.S. action. Although it doesn't seem hard enough. You know what I mean?
Well, again, we really don't have any proof that it's him, I guess, so you can't just carpet bomb the whole country. I mean, that's my guess. I mean, I really don't know.
It's him. It's like I said earlier. He's the guy that tried to bomb it in '93, the World Trade Center. He's like the same crackhead that goes to the same liquor store and robs it until he gets arrested.
Yeah.
You know, you got to know this is his M.O.
Anthony, 4 flights went down today, and that was a total of 266 people. That's a total, not on one plane.
Box cutters and knives.
Well, you know something? You probably don't even imagine that they're going to do something like crash the plane into a building. You would think maybe they want to go to another country and get refuge, so you're not going to attack them even if they just have box cutters. Because you can't fathom they're going to do something like this.
And it's real easy to sit on the ground and say, well, if I was on the plane, I would have done exactly what those people did. You just sit back and just hope you don't get
splashed.
Sit back
and shut up, right?
Yeah, and hope you land safely. I mean, you know, it's easy to sit here and go, I would have jumped on him. I wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah.
I was at a McDonald's that got robbed, and I cowered like a girl. I certainly wouldn't have attacked men with knives and box cutters.
We were watching some video of one of the towers collapsing, and we saw a big fat guy running down the street away from the big cloud, and an old woman dressed in pink is limping her way, and you know she's just going to get engulfed in this smoke. There's no way she could even get up to a jog, never mind run away from this smoke. The fat guy pushes her out of the way as he just continues running down the road. That's what humanity's about. Save my ass.
You know, but that's, again, it's kind of tough. I mean, if I was running and there was I've pushed old ladies to catch buses. I mean, for my life.
For your life, yeah. Use her as a car.
I mean, it's easy for me to be here in Jersey looking at the smoke, but I probably would have done the same thing. And it's horrible, man. It's a really, really horrible day.
Yeah, and very depressing.
And it was just a symbolic thing. And I just hope that symbolically we kill as many of those savages as we possibly can.
Absolutely, Norton.
And I really, really hope we have a military strike that is... I hope we embarrass ourselves by striking so disgustingly hard.
I will be proud that my tax dollars are on some of the, fin rivets of those bombs they send over.
Yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to get into the city. I mean, maybe tomorrow they'll start allowing people in, or, who knows?
I doubt it.
No, this just in. They have closed New York City for tomorrow.
Oh, it's already...
New York City will be closed tomorrow.
Really? Stanley Deanwitter, largest tenant in the World Trade Center, and... what about those records? What about all the people that work there and the market,
the
finances of the world? There were a lot of servers in the World Trade Center, a lot of computer equipment, a lot of records are stored there. Like I was saying earlier, I don't know of one person in the country that hasn't sent out an envelope to some company or another that said, One World Trade Center as the return address. It's a building that it's worldwide. It's the World Trade Center. You know what I mean? It's important to the free world.
And I hope I couldn't be the only one that's hopefully that China will just shut their yaps and stay out of this if we decide to attack one of these countries.
Well, again, what I was saying is a lot of times we hold back for political reasons, and this time we just gotta say, something, screw you. This is what we have to do. I don't care how you feel about it.
You know what? I don't see them holding back this. I don't know if you saw Colin Powell this morning, but he did not look pleased.
A little cranky?
He really looked angry, and I was very happy to see it. And Bush certainly doesn't seem happy, so I just hope we do awful things. And I really don't even know what to say. It's very, very sad.
Yeah, because even no matter how much we bomb them, this still happened, and it's a hard one to swallow.
But they will rebuild them. I mean, they will. They will go back up. And, we will, again, in the end, we will do more damage than was done.
All right, Jim.
All right, guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys as soon as I can.
Okay, man. Jim Norton, everyone. Everyone just, shocked.
Yeah.
This whole situation.
Who else we got, guys?
West Coast Dave checking in here. West Coast Dave.
From San Francisco.
Yep.
Dave, what's up, buddy?
Well, I just
on the
wanted to
safe
talk
side of
briefly
the. Hold on, what? You're calling us from the safe side of the country.
Yeah,
Jesus.
from the safe side. You wouldn't know it by the way that people are acting over here, though.
You know, it's strange. A lot of people from New York and Washington, the East Coast, say things like, God, I would never live in California with their earthquakes.
Yeah, go figure.
How about what we have to deal with?
Yeah, no kidding. You know, compared to earthquakes, they'll take them any day.
Yeah.
You know, people over here are really shaken up about all this. They closed all the airports. They closed all the federal buildings. They closed the Transamerica Pyramid. They closed the Golden Gate Bridge.
There's another building.
San Francisco was shut down.
Dave, let me bring this up again. A lot of people were, I don't know if a lot of people can relate to what we can here in New York when you look up and see the World Trade Center is gone. Imagine that building being gone in San Francisco, or the Golden Gate Bridge all of a sudden is just not there anymore.
It would be absolutely devastating. I mean, I feel it over here, you know. I mean, it's a devastating feeling. I feel defeated somehow. It's awful.
Yeah, it's one of those, punches that just hurt, and we haven't had a chance to punch back yet. And,
yeah, I know.
It pisses you off.
I know. You know, CNBC just reported, by the way, that the explosions in Afghanistan may have been the work of Afghan opposition groups.
Yeah, they're starting to say stuff like that.
Yeah, so it may not have been us.
Right. Well, we'll see. Well, hey, thanks.
Hey, no problem, guys.
Thanks, guys. You know, thanks for bombing Afghanistan.
The president's going to speak at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So,
listen, I wanted to bring up the possibility of what may happen economically now. Consumer confidence is really going to be shaken now that this has happened.
Yeah, the papers in the past couple of days have said, wow, we're looking, I think we bottomed out and the upturn is going to happen by the end of the year. The economy is going to be back. This just consumer confidence, really going to go down the crapper.
Yeah, you can't imagine people wanting to go out and spend a load of money on a new refrigerator or on a new car now. I mean,
yeah, now something like this happens, you really want to go out and buy that new car.
Yeah, that's
you're really confident about the future, you know?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if people have been paying attention to what's been going on in commodities lately, but, I'm getting unconfirmed reports of people all over the country, specifically in the Midwest, like Kansas and Oklahoma, paying upwards of $5 a gallon for gas. I don't know if that's true or not. I just went to the pumps myself, and it was normal, $1.69.
Well, anytime something happens in the Mideast or anytime something happens here, the gas prices just go crazy. I can only imagine what's going to happen now.
Yeah, the prices of commodities have skyrocketed, and I wonder how that's really going to affect the prices of stocks when they finally reopen on Thursday.
Yeah.
You got to wonder what that's going to do.
All right, Dave.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Dave from San Francisco. Cool.
All right, later.
Hey, guys, speaking about gas prices, already reports out of Kansas City, $5 a gallon, Louisville, $4, Detroit, $5, some other places as high as $9.
I would pay that and then stick the nozzle down the son of a bitch's throat that runs the gas station and pump him full of gas and then light a match. Because there's no reason to raise the gas prices hours after something like this happens.
It's pretty sick and twisted that they're taking advantage of this situation already.
Right. You son
taking
of
advantage of the panic. Because I before I came to the studios to do our show today, I'm thinking like everyone else, I better get a full tank of gas. I mean, the lines were insane, and this was at like noon, 3 hours after the whole mess. And people out there taking advantage of it.
Sons of bitches, animals.
Who do we have on the line?
We got Matthew who's calling in from the New York area. Matthew.
This is Matthew.
Hey, Matthew, what's up?
How are you?
All right.
Radio guy. I'm a United States Marine, Corporal Brookie working out of West Trent, New Jersey.
Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I've been waiting. I've been talking to those other guys. I've been waiting. I've been talking. I've been listening to them and conversating with them. You know?
Hey, thanks, Matthew.
Thank you.
All right.
Come on, the radio.
See that? No, that's what we want going, though. They have one thought, Opie. Nothing else in their head except kill, kill, kill.
Anyone else, guys? Should we take a break? What do you want to do?
Go to David here in Boston. David.
You're truly born again hard, Private Pile.
David, what's up?
Well, I got a different story for you.
Mm-hmm.
I got my brother-in-law. 2 months ago, we threw a party for him. He got a new job. Wow, with the World Trade. You know what I'm saying?
Get out of here.
105th floor on the second building that got hit. You know?
Is he okay?
I haven't heard from him.
No clue, right? And you're just sitting there wondering.
Well, yeah. What does one go out to find them?
You know something? I don't even know how to give you an answer.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you?
Went to Brown University, took a job for $120,000 a year to go to fucking I'm sorry. Go to the World Trade Center to work.
Well, hopefully you got out. It's very hard to get phone calls out of New York right now. So
is that what it is?
Have you called his friends?
His girlfriend's in New Jersey. She can't get in touch with him either.
David, what company does he work for? We might have the number here.
Conan and Fitzgerald. Is that it?
No info on them. But if we do have those numbers, if they come up available, we'll definitely be passing them on throughout the time here.
Yeah.
All right, say a prayer.
All right, David.
Thanks.
See, it's stuff like that, Who knows?
Yeah, and speaking of people looking for survivors, family, employees of Morgan Stanley, the number again is 888-883-4391. This is info set up by the companies at the World Trade Center. And the other company, Deloitte and Touche, it's a 212 number, 243-7666. So if you're looking for anybody who worked in those companies, give those numbers a try. Hopefully they can help you track down your loved ones.
All right, cool. Anyone else on the line?
I think we're going to take a quick break and go through some more calls for you guys.
All right, cool. All right, man. Well, it's Opie and Anthony. We're broadcasting from Long Island today because we can't get in the city. I want to thank our friends at WLIR for giving us a studio today.
Yeah, we're going to take a short break. We'll probably go to our little sister station there, the AM 1010 Winds, and we're just going to take a little leak or something, and we'll be right back in no time.
Hang on one second.
Hey, real quick, for the guy from Boston who was looking for his brother, people looking for missing loved ones can call 212-447-2998. That's 212-447-2998. That is the New York City Bureau of Labs. They could help you probably track down who you're looking for.
All right, and we'll be back in like 2, maybe 3 minutes, so stay there.
Our live coverage on 1010 Wins, and here's Eileen. Back to Doug O'Brien. Doug?
That's 1010 Wins, our sister station here in New York, and we'll go back to Opie and Anthony, who are on Long Island. Guys?
Hey,
thanks, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
Just went and got some from the vending machine.
Yes, we can still get chocolate chip cookies.
Lunch and dinner. Yum, yum.
I know.
All right, let's go right back to the phones, guys. Hello?
Yeah, we're going to go to, what do you call it, Mike on the National.
Okay.
Mike checking in.
Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, man?
Where you calling from, Mike?
Trenton, Jersey.
New Jersey. What's up?
Yo, man, I don't know if anybody's brought up this angle yet, but this thing was way too well planned. Who says that this is the only thing that's going to happen?
Well, but hopefully we put in place some precautions, like taking every plane out of the sky might help from this happening again right now.
Might stop them from it for this day.
Right, I know.
Think about how well planned they had this. You know that they knew what we were going to do. You know, they knew we were going to shut down. And one guy saying that we could do more damage in 20 minutes than they did in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. They shut down L.A. They shut down New York. They killed how many people? They shut down the country, and they got how many months of damage that we have to clean up?
Oh, they
knew what they were doing.
As far as they're concerned, mission accomplished, man. They did what terrorists do. They terrorized, and they stopped the machine that we like to call our lives. But, what our response has to be is something huge. So this is harder to happen next time. I don't think we could totally.
But there are already people in the media saying that we shouldn't stoop to their level. Anthony.
Oh, please stoop!
Right, please.
We have higher standards than them, and it wouldn't be a good thing to stoop to their level and blah 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 blah.
If I my way, we'd send a group of 5 people to Bin Laden, to Hussein, to everybody who ever screwed with us, and just kill them. Plain and simple. No 2 questions about it.
We don't take people out. That's not our policy.
Yeah, it is. We just don't publicize it.
I wish. We also thought that there'd be missiles if the Pentagon ever got attacked by an aircraft.
Yeah, right.
A lot of these misconceptions and urban legends about this country and our monuments and things like the Pentagon were just crap.
Right.
They were nothing.
You said it earlier. You said, if a plane was heading toward the Pentagon, you just assumed the ground would open up.
The ground opens up.
And we would just something like that.
Anti-aircraft missiles launch, right? If you asked anyone in this country, what happens if an aircraft, a commercial aircraft, is hijacked and heads toward the Pentagon? Oh, gee.
Well, the ground
let me tell you.
opens up
First of all, and everyone's a know-it-all. There's guys on the roof. Let me tell you. There's guys on the roof, and they got the Stinger missiles, what they got. And what they do is they shoot the plane down, and everybody gets in a big elevator, and all the important stuff drops to the mantle of the earth. And it's bullcrap. You know what happens? The plane hits the building, and it blows up. That's what happens.
Well, the other funny thing was when they put up the, F-15.
Yeah.
They thought a second plane was coming.
Uh-huh.
Even if the commercial jet had gotten within 5 feet of the Pentagon, they still wouldn't have shot it down. The backlash from the Americans of an American fighter jet shooting down an American commercial plane with American passengers, they would have let it hit the Pentagon before they shot it down.
Let me tell you something, my friend. There's a 747 that crashed in Pennsylvania.
In the woods.
And it looks an awful lot like it was shot down by fighter planes.
I hope so, and I hope, because first I thought maybe it was the pilot who had enough sense to know what was going on and just down the plane himself. But if that got shot down, then, hopefully we're starting to wise up a little bit here.
I don't think they would, I don't think the guy would crash his own plane because he might get shot down. The guy was heading toward Washington. He was intercepted, and, we'll see what happened. I'm sure it'll come out. They're not going to try to cover something like that up or anything.
Really?
I hope.
Anthony, for the locals, 59th Street Bridge is now open both ways and limited service to New York on the Long Island Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
And then one other thing. A lot of people around, wonder why we get ourselves into so much trouble. And we hear about all this kind of terrorism on our side of the oceans, but nobody ever seems to think that we have our own little branch of terrorism going on in other countries. I mean, we do some responsibility because, as much as it's not publicized over here, we do have our own little terrorist organizations going on.
I will not accept any responsibility or hear that the United States is responsible for this in any way.
No.
Terrorist groups? No, I don't see that.
You don't see us, going out and causing coups, doing our own little things in other countries. Come on.
It
can't be that bad.
I know we do that, but you know something?
Nothing like this.
You know something?
Like
we look at what we did in Iraq. We tried to keep civilian deaths to a minimum, which is ridiculous for us. Which is ridiculous. They don't care. Why should we use bombs with pinpoint accuracy to take out military installation and leave the hospital next to it standing when they don't care?
Yeah.
Dumb bombs. Let's drop some 2,000-pounders on the whole goddamn country.
When we used to firestorm like Japan and Germany, just box everything in with a big thing of fire and burn everything inside of it.
The good old days.
What we got to do.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Catch you later.
Confirmed report, really. U.S. did not attack in Afghanistan.
They're probably sitting there like, hey, wait a minute, we're doing that. What the hell are you doing?
Who do we have next on the phone lines?
We have Patty calling in from New York. Patty.
Hi, Gilpy.
Hello.
Hey, Patty, what's up?
I'm exhausted from walking
Thank
across
God it's
the
not
59th
that
Street
Patty.
Bridge.
You walked home over the 59th Street Bridge today?
Yeah, I work in Rockefeller Center, and they had evacuated our building because they smelled gas at around 10 o'clock.
Yes, I believe Saturday Night Live was a primary target.
It was it? No, you're
No,
kidding.
Patty, come on.
So we walked up to Bloomingdale's where my husband works, picked him up, and walked across the 59th Street Bridge.
How do you usually get home? You take
F train.
The train, right? Okay.
It took us 2 hours. It looked like Moses was leading his people to the promise, and there were so many people.
Yeah, I don't know if people in other cities are getting that footage where there's just thousands upon thousands of people walking across these bridges home because that's the only way to get home today.
On the way home, leave your car.
They had to pick us up on 38th and Queens Boulevard. The 7 train was running there when we got there.
This is what I was talking about earlier, how everyone's annoyed,
The
Their little routine was interrupted.
Yeah, see?
Terrible.
You know what I'm saying?
When you look over the bridge towards the World Trade Center, nothing, just smoke. It was terrible. It was like a dream. And the people on the huge flatbed trucks, people up driving across, strangers. People were helping, but it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe this is happening, and it's just scary. Like everybody else is saying, what else are they going to do?
That's the point we're at. We're just like now everybody's you flinch at everything. You know what I mean? You hear that plane fly overhead in a couple of days when they open up the airports again. You're going to be thinking about it. It's going to be on everyone's mind a lot for quite a while.
Who in their right mind would jump on a plane in the very near future? I mean,
I know. That's
And we saw people
will, though, because either they have to or I don't know.
Yeah.
It was crazy. People who were at Wall Street, who walked all the way from Wall Street, we met them next to us. They said they actually saw people jumping out of the World Trade Center.
Yeah, that's one of the more horrible.
So far, they haven't shown that
I
footage
saw
on
it
TV.
on TV. One station, Channel 9 had it. You saw the person flying. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's.
It was. I just can't believe that this actually happened. How can they not detect the planes going a different route?
You know something? You never expect something like this to happen. So. You know, that plane that left Boston, it was going to L.A., over New York at some point. It made a sharp turn south. And at that point, they knew something was amiss with the plane. Either no one talked to the tower or what happened, but for some reason, they didn't feel like shooting it down. So it wasn't a threat. It was just a plane that was off course.
Yeah, but a half an hour?
I know, a half an hour of a plane off course.
Going south toward
if we were a little more alert, or maybe you were tipped off at something, you might know this was going to happen. But
I mean,
you know,
hello, I don't know. I just don't understand it. And so many lives are going to be gone because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And these people are like, yeah, we tried it the first time, it didn't happen, but look what we did. We got both of them in this time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just what's
going to stop them now?
Okay, well,
I just wanted to say, love your show, guys, just wanted to,
all right, Patty.
say thanks for everything, okay? Thanks for the great coverage, okay?
Well, we're trying.
You guys are doing a great job, by the way. I'm watching Afghanistan getting bombed, too, so.
Cool. I just hate being serious. Hate it.
Yeah, we like talking about boobies and whores. That's the fun stuff. But something like this happens, and it's kind of hard to joke about anything.
Right. Guys, what do we got next?
A couple things. We got some phone lines opened. So the New York number, as well as the national 866-277-4WOW, and the local number if you're in the New York area 877-692-1027. And one of the things, guys, that the guy that called in from Boston who had his brother-in-law on the 105th floor.
Yeah, and
it's at Cantor Fitzgerald, which is a law firm. They have a number set up in London where they're based for people to call about loved ones. It's 44207-894-8017. So,
you better give that number again if that guy's listening.
44207-894-8017.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Who do we have on the phone line?
Want to go to Joe on line 8?
Okay.
Out of New York?
Joe.
Hey, look, Anthony keeps saying this isn't our fault. He's wrong. We let all these ragheads into our country. We should have learned the last time. They're all in here on student visas. They come here, they make these explosives, or in this case, stole a plane.
Hey, guys are right.
I mean, it's our fault. I mean, it's time we change the sign from, give us your huddled masses yearning to be free. It's time it says, sorry, we're full.
Yeah, that argument's going to be brought up again, but, I don't consider that our fault. It's unwise, some of our immigration practices. I think we got to stop worrying about offending groups is what it is. There are these students, they call them students that come over here. I don't know what they're studying, but they're building bombs. They're doing reconnaissance work for these terrorist organizations, and we can't kick them out. You know why? Because we're not like that. We're the United States. We're all inclusive, and we would hate to offend because there would be a group that will write a letter to this organization or that and be offended that we're calling these people terrorists.
Well, we like being politically correct.
Well, F that, man. It's time to really assess reality and not think about hurting people's feelings.
Because next time it could be chemical warfare.
Right.
Could be nuclear weapons.
Uh-huh. Who knows what's next? You never
Anthrax,
thought this,
all that fun stuff.
And for anyone sitting out there going, oh, now stop. Turn on your TV. Because who the hell imagined this? Who thought you'd ever see something like this happening? And yeah, they do keep topping themselves. Remember?
It keeps escalating.
In 93, it was a Ryder truck with some horse crap in the back.
6 people died. Oklahoma City bombing was about 168, if I'm not mistaken. And now look where we're at.
Now we're at airplanes crashing into buildings. So next, who knows, man?
And this had to be in the works for years.
Yeah, this one had to be planned for a while, and you know something? We should have known about it. We just should have known about it.
Well, we have an open door policy. Come on in and, stick it to us.
Yeah, come on in, take a good look around, tell your pals where the good stuff is, and,
It's like living in the middle of Newark and leaving your doors open. Yeah, come on in. Take what you want and go home.
I've hated our immigration policies for many years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Joe.
People from known terrorist nations should be under the utmost scrutiny. And I don't care whose feelings it's hurting. It's just the way it is. Sorry.
All right. 4 planes went down, and the total is 266 people.
From all 4 planes.
Put together, right. So,
all right.
So these planes weren't, filled.
You can't say thank God because people died.
No. Did I say thank God?
No, I'm saying a lot.
I'm trying to check every word I say.
Because when something like this happens, the lower the death toll, the better, but it doesn't help because you don't want to hear that anyone died.
Just the people dying on in the planes is more than the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah.
Just to put it in perspective.
Mm-hmm. And who knows what they're going to find underneath all that rubble at the Pentagon and the World Trade Center.
And Building 7 from
the
World Trade Center. Guys, who do we have next?
We have our own Steve C. from Foundry, who's on the line. He's stuck in Jersey. Steve.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, Steve.
How are you?
How will this affect Foundry?
I don't care because I'm in underwear that I was wearing yesterday.
You know, the terrorists were able to fly 767s, but I'm sure they couldn't navigate FoundryMusic.com.
Saw that coming a mile away.
Very hard.
Very much.
So you didn't make it into work either today, huh?
I was going to I took the day off because I had to go to a doctor's appointment. By the time I was headed home, because I was going to come in and help Ben and Rick, I couldn't get into Secaucus where I live. They've closed off all access.
Yeah, that stomach surgery doesn't seem as important.
No. All of a sudden, things have been put in perspective. Although I would like to start taking, I'd like to sacrifice my surgery and start taking lessons how to fly an F-14, so I can fly it over and drop a nuke on somebody.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh.
So what are your thoughts today?
Just hatred for every militant raghead that ever said a foul word about this place.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to gouge their friggin' eyes out of their pathetic heads.
When you look on the TV and they're waving their flags and celebrating the fact that people were killed and institutions around this country were destroyed, it makes you pissed off.
It's infuriating. It is infuriating to watch people It's infuriating to watch somebody rejoice at what could be tens of thousands of people crushed.
Yeah.
Did you see the world, one of the towers collapse live on TV today, like everyone else?
I was 40 miles away in Jersey, and I saw the smoke plume.
Yeah. The feeling I got watching it on live TV, I'm like, no, hang in there. Help is on the way. Hang in there. Do not fall down.
Yeah, you hope.
And you could feel it in your gut.
What's gut-wrenching is that there were EMTs, there were firemen, there were policemen.
A lot of emergency workers down there trying to help out the people that they were evacuating. And, who thought those were going to just come down like that? So.
You know what's also disgusting, and I've been tuning you guys in and on and off all day, but I don't know if anyone said this, but stuff like this doesn't happen in this country without someone on this end knowing about it first.
Yeah.
That's what's really sick.
Oh, now there's a guy up there. Who's this? He's up there with a lot of medals on his chest.
You guys want me to bring up the audio on that?
Talking in front of the Pentagon. Who is he?
Yeah, bring it up.
Is this Shelton? Who is this guy?
Innocent and decent citizens of our country. I extend my condolences to the entire Department of Defense families, military and civilian, and to the families of all those throughout our nation who lost loved ones.
He's got some medals.
I think this is indeed a reminder of the tragedy and the tragic dangers that we face day in and day out.
What are we going to do?
Both here at home as well as abroad. I would tell you up front, I have no intentions of discussing today what comes next, but make no mistake about it, your armed forces are ready.
Yeah, there you go.
Chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Carl Levin.
Nice comb over.
Our intense focus on recovery and helping the injured and the families of those who were killed is matched only by our determination to prevent more attacks and matched only by our unity.
I think I heard this in 93.
To track down,
I know.
root out, and relentlessly pursue terrorists.
Of course.
And nothing happened.
Support them and harbor them. They are the common enemy of the civilized world.
So do something.
Our institutions are strong, and our unity is palpable.
It is.
Senator John Warner.
Same speech we heard after the Oklahoma City bombing.
Chairman, preceding Carl Levin, I can assure you that the Congress stands behind our president.
There you go.
And the president speaks with one voice for this entire nation. This is indeed the most tragic hour in America's history.
Al Gore right now is going,
I think
thank God I lost.
Its finest hour.
Right?
As our president and those with him, notably our Secretary of Defense, our chairman, and the men in the armed forces all over this world stand ready not only to defend this nation and our allies against further attack, but to take such actions as are directed in the future in retaliation for this terrorist act.
Be ballsy. Tell us what you're bombing.
Unprecedented.
They never tell us beforehand.
We call upon the entire world to step up and help, because terrorism is a common end to all.
Where was Superman?
And we're in this together.
He could have helped.
States is borne the brunt, but who can be next?
I hate these goddamn speeches.
Can you fade this out?
Yeah,
I'm just getting annoyed.
I get pissed off because I'm hearing the same crap we heard, like Ope said, in 93. I want to hear someone with a set of brass balls get in front of that podium and shake things up.
Who's not worried about offending someone or worried about, policies or politics.
Right. Get up there.
Be a leader. Be a real leader.
Talk like you feel. How do you feel? You pissed off? Get to the podium and say, we're pissed off. And someone's going to pay. We're going to figure this out. And someone will pay. Our armed forces are ready. Well, I hope so. That doesn't tell me anything. And if these speeches just go on for days and weeks and months and then everyone forgets and nothing happens, book me passage to Afghanistan. I'm going into the desert with a gun. Find it myself.
Guys, what do we have next?
Let's see. I got a report here. The Senator Orrin Hatch says they have intelligence that two connected to bin Laden said that over private airways that we hit two targets. Then it looks like they have confirmed reports that bin Laden is attached to these attacks.
Gee, what a surprise.
As opposed to him saying, no, I had nothing to do with it.
He's the only one with the money and the power to do something like this. It's obvious. It's not, when someone did something bad, let me bring the Superman back up, Opie. It was always Lex Luthor, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. See? We know who it is.
All right, let's go back to the phones.
Let's go to Kevin in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, guys.
What's up, man?
Hey, Kevin.
I just wanted to say that we need to bomb the hell out of everything there. I mean, I'm comparing this to Vietnam in the sheer fact that we couldn't tell who was our enemy and who was. I mean, the people that were making the most effective gun runnings were the women and children. And you look at these, we need to go into that entire region, kill every man, woman, and child, and leave how the hell you pronounce his name?
Bin Laden.
Yeah, we need to leave him alive and torture him for the next 30 years.
It would be really nice to believe that would happen, but we're America, so it doesn't happen. We don't
have it in us.
I just hope we do something. And the Vietnam analogy is good because, we don't know who the enemy is. And that war was effed up because we don't piss other countries off, too. This is something we have to do. We got to get in there and do some damage and not care if we're pissing off countries that are sympathetic to these groups.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the last time anyone attacked American soil, we put the most force we could possibly put into the attack.
Yeah, I don't understand. People sometimes they don't think. It doesn't have to come by way of tank and paratroopers and missiles. This is as much an act of war as if a bomber flew over the city and dropped a bomb out of a military plane onto the World Trade Center. There's no difference. This is, we're at war. They declared war on us, and we have to respond tenfold.
Oh, more? Oh, no. Because if they were saying that we hit, I just heard that they announced over private radio, and his troops, that we hit 2 targets. Mm-hmm. That means there was a lot more.
Yeah, we said that earlier.
Yeah, well,
just imagine what the full plan was.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, heads are going to roll in the military and in the CIA. That someone should have known about this, and hopefully it puts their ass in gear that they start getting their intelligence back to where it was. You know, during the Cold War, we knew a lot of stuff. But for some reason, all those got cut because we figured we didn't need it anymore. Well, we need it.
All right, Kevin, thank you.
All right, guys, I'm just venting. Thank you for letting me talk, and you guys have a nice night, or as best you can.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, bye.
Kevin from Philly.
Hey, guys, we got a few minutes left, so I was hoping to get some more of these phone numbers back out to the listeners if they're looking to try and track down information on loved ones. The employee family survivor info set up by the companies at World Trade Center, Morgan Stanley. The number again is 888-883-4391. And for Deloitte and Tush, it's 1-212-243-7666. And again, they're looking for blood donations. Type O, I guess, is the most needed right now. So call location near you at 1-800-HELP-NOW or 1-800-933-BLOOD.
All right.
Thank you, Rick.
No problem.
All right.
Guys, also here in New York, Ron and Fez are here, so they'll be on live after us for people here in New York.
How the hell did they get it?
They got in.
They live in New York.
Yeah. Ron's been here all day, and Fez got in, so they're going to be on here in New York after us.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do? 6:54? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I'm just numb. I don't know. Who do we have on the phone?
We got Chris out on Long Island, line 4.
Line 4. Here you go. Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, hey.
What's up,
Chris?
I'm from Huntington.
Yeah.
I live right near Huntington Hospital. I just had 3 F-16s fly right over my house.
Yeah, it's they're probably coming from the base out east.
Yeah, they were going west.
They closed down the Long Island Expressway at exit 61, which is about a good, 30 miles
at least.
30 miles east of New York City, and it's closed 30 miles east of New York City. That's how hard it's going to be to travel. I'm supposed to get back to Brooklyn. I'm going to have some time. I know. I don't think I'm getting back.
Stay at the treehouse.
You can stay at the treehouse.
Oh, I can't stay at Opie's house. No
Whack your head going up the stairs.
The treehouse. How do I get a drink in the middle of the night? Do I have to pull the rope and the coconuts come up? It's like the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse.
We'll figure it out.
Actually, you drop the bucket into the water.
Where's President Bush arriving?
He arrives at the White House.
At the White House?
What are you, stupid?
Yeah.
What is he, crazy?
They've actually flown him to 4 different locations.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting. You saw the helicopters just kind of swarming the area. I was wondering what was going on. It was, because they were getting ready to get him in.
Oh, now I'm sure that if anything happens, the Washington Monument opens up and a missile comes out. Right?
The New York Stock Exchange will be closed tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's obvious.
And they've canceled 40,000 flights. 40,000 flights. That's a lot of people at a lot of airports. Unprecedented.
And Disney World and Disneyland closed.
Damn it.
They had to report that.
Yeah, I know. No baseball
games tonight.
Who cares about baseball?
Oh, Knott's Berry Farm is closed.
All right. Well,
one last number, guys, because there's another big company in the World Trade Center, Empire Blue Cross, and a lot of employees. The number for info for them is 866-761-8265. 866-761-8265. That's Empire Blue Cross. Yeah.
And for St. Vincent's, if you're looking to track down somebody at St. Vincent's, their info number 212-604-7085. And anyone that works with Keefe, Broyette, and Woods, you have a number to call, If you're trying to locate someone, a loved one, 1-800-726-0006.
I hate when they say loved one. What if you just liked somebody? You still want to see where they are? Like if Rick was in there. He's a liked one. What's the number for liked ones? Max. Thank you for the numbers, Max.
Hey, okay, Anthony.
Anyone else on the phones?
Just a bunch of random, calls are coming in and out real quick right now.
I think we've run the course.
Yes.
George Bush, back at the White House. George W. He's coming out of his helicopter. I wonder if they did anything extra. Like if some of the people are going to be, sharpshooters on top of the White House and on the grounds.
Wow.
Look, who's the first guy that comes out of the helicopter?
He's called the Shield.
He's like the food taster guy.
The president has left the helicopter. You know they walk with confidence.
Walk confident. A lot of crisis.
Look around a lot. Make sure you're frowning.
Straight into the White House. Let me see. Could you see any other sharpshooters or anything?
He was so prepped on how to walk out of that helicopter.
Of course. What's that? White House minefield?
That's his business walk. What are those, all picnic tables?
Picnic tables stacked up. They couldn't have flown him closer to the White House? He has a long walk.
Is that picnic tables? What was that?
Picnic tables stacked up.
As a barrier?
I would hope not.
After everything that went on, they decided to make, to put a barrier around the White House, piling up picnic tables.
And we're going to deploy picnic tables everywhere.
Look at him.
There he is. Back in. There he goes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay.
He'll be giving a speech tonight at 9. I think it's going to be a ratings bonanza, to tell you the truth.
I have a feeling that it'll be on 30 stations tonight.
Yes.
Of course.
Well, it's I can't say it's been a fun show. It sure hasn't been that. It's been different.
No, this is something,
It's going to be hard doing a show even tomorrow. I don't know how going to go in, whip them out Wednesday tomorrow,
This is something we just don't have a desire to do.
Yeah.
This is not our expertise, so I thank everyone for bearing with us and sharing your stories and stuff, but this just sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks big time. And our thoughts are out, go out to all the people that
have family and friends, they don't know where they are.
Yeah, exactly, and there's thousands of those people tonight.
And we can only hope that we get some retribution here, some revenge. All right.
All right, guys, do what you gotta.
All right, we'll go back to
10-10 wins.
We'll go back to 10-10 wins, and then for you and your New York, Ron and Fez coming up in just a few minutes.
Did Jeremy tell you to say that?
No, come on. I went to school for radio. Give me a break here.
Got to get our ratings. This is the place to be. Disgusted. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hey guys, don't hang up, okay?
What?
Just stay there.
All right. Here you go. 10-10 wins for you in New York.
More from Lee.